Welcome, Internet, to the Play Some Video Games podcast. It's your boy, Dat Ninja Dev, joined as always by Donnie, Eat the Hype Reese, and Delvin Ain't No Motherfucking Way Cox. How are we doing this evening,
Goddamn right.
gentlemen?
I'm
Good,
good.
good, pretty good.
I'm feeling it.
I'm
I'm
glad.
ready to podcast. Had a long day, but it was a good day. But man, I had to go downtown. I had to do a big presentation, run a bunch of people and everything. But feeling good, feeling hyped. Got a drink. Feeling good.
I'm glad I also have a drink, and cheers to your long ass day. I'm glad it's over and you're back home and podcasting with us.
I didn't drink a couple weeks. Been a minute.
Deliciousness. I've got a pina colada. Donnie, what are you drinking?
Rum and Coke.
And Delvin,
Coffee with cream.
bitch assness.
It's lame. It's old.
Nonsense.
Old thing
Yeah.
to say.
It's got to stay
It's
awake.
cream.
You know? It's past his bedtime.
Right. It's like,
But
stay
coffee
up.
and cream.
It's what's the cream? It's caramel macchiato cream. It's pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pretty,
Okay.
pretty
some-
good.
You need some whiskey in
Good.
that.
Right?
Keep it real.
Nah, I'm cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Get
cool.
some whiskey in that. Like, be real.
I was going to do rum and tonic, but my tonic's frozen. I was like, oh, left this in here too long. So,
I've drunk enough.
Sometimes that happens. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Donnie, you've got a new toy that you've been messing around with, doing all kind of stuff. So let's jump right into your new favorite thing, the Asus Ally.
It makes me so happy.
I know.
So
I'm happy that you're happy.
last week we talked about, and I was telling you, I was like, there's all these frustrations I was having. I'm jumping all these hoops and everything. All right. Some of this might have been self-inflicted. So I kept working on it, and I started to dabble into emulation. I kept working on like getting other launchers going. I kept running into really weird issues. Like at one point over the weekend, last weekend, like my system wouldn't restart. Like I go to hit the restart button and it just wouldn't do anything. And I have to like manually shut it off, like hold down the button. I was like, what the fuck? This is weird. I started doing the emulation. The emulation wasn't running well. I kept getting like errors transferring files. I went to like Steam and I tried to launch a game and like the files wouldn't download and tell me to corrupt files. If I switched Wi-Fi, it would start to download and then it would stop. And I'm like, something's not working, man.
Right.
I swapped the SD card just to check. This is the fucking SD card. My SD card was shit. I bought a brand new SD card and it wasn't a name brand one, but it had really good reviews. It was a good one. It was brand new and had really good reviews. And it wasn't a cheap one. It just was cheaper. And it was shit. It was just a shit. It was a shit SD card. Because I slapped a SanDisk in it and everything was smooth as butter. I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
There's the system. And then from there, I got all my emulators going. I'm playing NCAA football. I'm playing Hot Shots. I'm playing Mario. I've got everything going. I've got Game Day, NBA Live, like every one of my favorite sports games. I put my entire
awesome.
PS2 collection that I had. I put my entire collection on the Ally. And then I sold my PlayStation 2 games because I was like, I'm never, ever going to play this again. There'd be no reason. It's all in the palm of my hand in full screen with save states. I can play it from anywhere at any time. This is incredible.
And not only the palm of your
That's
hand,
awesome.
you can always dock that and play it on your TV.
I did mess with the dock. I did set up the
Okay,
dock and I
okay.
plugged in and it works beautifully. I synced my controller to it and I was like, this isn't. And that's when I told Jack, I was like, there's no reason. There's no reason to keep the PS2 hooked up if I can just play it here on this, on the TV, on the go. So we packed it all up and we took it to a local retro game store and I sold it to them. I let them have it. And
Nice.
yeah, we did that. We did that on Father's Day. And then I bought some stuff. I got some cool things. And yeah, I really do love it. Now that I have it all up and running and it's all working and everything, it's incredible. I've done some optimizations. Dev, I did find one tool on GitHub. It's like an anti-Windows bloat tool. It's like a crowdsource thing. You just plug it in and it basically gives you a list of options. And you go through the list and you choose what you want and what you don't want. And then what it does is once you set that list and hit save, it'll uninstall all of the Windows bloatware that comes on a Windows image, and it'll
Wow.
like performance tune all of your settings for best performance.
Man, we
That's
used
great.
to have a tool like that when I worked for Geek Squad. It was called the optimizer or something like that. I loved that thing because it would go through and get rid of all kind of stuff and just optimize files.
Yep.
I really
And so
miss that tool.
back there disabling everything, pulled one drive off, like all of the stuff just out in one click, just does it all for me.
Yeah.
And since then, this past week, I did play some Zelda for Shaq, but I specifically played it just before Shaq. Had Shaq not been there, I wouldn't have played it because I've just been replaying Steam games, and my favorite game, I put in Tomb Raider, and I played more Warhammer, and I'm just playing stuff. I'm just like going through my library and playing Grand Theft Auto. I'm just playing stuff, like the stuff that I, have available to me. I'm just going through, put my favorite things on it, make sure everything works. I played some Call of Duty, put Modern Warfare to it. I'm playing Modern Warfare in the palm of my hands. Like this is fucking wild.
It's everything the Steam Deck should have been.
It really is. And I don't mean to say that as like console wars. It really is. It really is. It's doing all of like when I played the Steam Deck, it's not that I didn't like it, but there were definitely like some concessions, It's like this, the screen could be a little better. I wish the games played a little better. And like this does that. It is that.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, here you go. Do you know how dangerous it is to give me Hot Shots Golf 3 in the palm of my hands at any moment? At any moment where I feel slightly inconvenienced or bored, it's like you just pull out Hot Shots Golf 3 and play your favorite golf game of all time at any moment.
It's Donnie's happy place.
Go a little franchise mode. My 16th season of the head coach of the Arizona Sun Devils, chasing the Natty. Guys,
The Sun Devils of all teams.
I always pick every time I start a new franchise, I always pick a low. You got to, right? You got to pick a low team, take them to the mountaintop before you take the dream job. Yeah, you got to. So I'm in love, guys. I'm absolutely in love. I put Infamous on it.
NCAA experience.
I put Infamous on it.
Mm-hmm.
I can play Infamous on it. You hear that, Delvin?
I hear you.
Dude, it's fucking incredible. It's fucking incredible. That's all I can say. Like it. Now that I've had more time with it and I've got everything set up, it is giving me everything I thought I made a post on Reddit about how happy I was with screenshots of all these games I was playing and everything, because like I just felt the need to tell people. It's like one on the Reddit, there's tons of people that aren't like, that don't like it or don't want to like it or whatever. So I just felt the need to put it out there. I was like, I just need to let everybody else know that I'm absolutely having a fucking ball of a time over here. Okay, this damn thing is incredible. I played Spec Up the Line. Like it's just.
Donnie's gonna get that eGPU, and everything is getting sold. Everything.
It's tempting. I'm telling you, it's tempting. It's very nice.
I'm glad you're enjoying it though. That's great.
Yeah, me too.
You got fucking Rob 1500 to swap over.
I can't believe it, right? He's been fighting me for like a year on this damn thing.
We try to tell him. He don't be listening.
At every turn, I would post something about the Ally, like, here's the Ally playing Red Dead. He'd be like, yeah, but the Steam Deck does this at lower wattage, and the Steam Deck does that, and
look,
be there.
You need to stop with all this wattage and this, like all of this little nonsense, bro. Just it does what you want it to do. Like, stop it.
I got wallpaper engine.
Listen to us.
My thing is all themed out in cyberpunk. Load screens and screensavers.
Yes, we've seen all of the cyberpunk.
I forgot to tell you
how much you love that
last week that I never talked about the audio experience. It is impeccable. Great sounding speakers, front facing, very rich in sound, spatial, like you're wearing headphones. I didn't realize until I started playing The Last of Us, hearing directions of where enemies are coming from and stuff on a handheld without headphones. Can tell, like snapping, looking to the right because I'm hearing a sound coming from this direction. That's wild. Cool. Is there any handheld that does that? I don't think so.
Hell no.
Right.
How does it sound with headphones on? Like, I'm curious, like audio driver that they have for also pushing speakers or pushing headphones.
That's a great question. I hadn't put headphones on yet. I'll do it and like report back to you. It sounds. Here's the thing. All right, here's how good it sounds. I usually put the volume at like 30.
Oh, wow.
There's so much extra range to turn it. Like if you turn it all the way up, it is like it will bother people around you. Like
so
in the house.
Better than most modern TVs because those suck.
I mean, it's loud.
They do.
And and rich, not just loud, but also rich.
Asus
So, yeah.
knows what they're doing.
I played Madden on it, like the newest Madden. Threw that on there.
23.
Dude, it's running at like
22.
100 frames a second. Coach Mo's gonna fucking love this thing. It's incredible. I was like, this is insane. We thought we were gonna be like, maybe it can hit 60. Dude, I hit 60 in all sorts of stuff. Now, again, for just being forthright with people, I have my screen set to 720 and I haven't turned it off. It looks beautiful at 720.
I don't think you need to have it any higher than 720.
I don't think so either. I'll take all the frames, thank you. But I'm that performance player. Like, I'd rather have that anyway. If you're wanting to boost the visuals, set it to 1080. I don't think I think there's overhead there. You can still get to 60. I don't think you
really notice the difference at 1080 versus 720 because of the size of the screen.
All those pictures I'm sharing, like of the screens, everything of the last one, those are all 720. Nobody has been like, that looks a little rough. Everybody's like, that looks great. You can't tell. Like, nobody knows. The screen's too small. 7 inches.
Yep.
So, yeah, I've been doing that. I've been digging it. I did get a portable screen for Father's Day. My wife got me a portable screen that I had on my Amazon wish list.
Mm-hmm.
So I even hooked it up to that. That makes it a lot easier to doing emulation setup and transfer of ROMs and stuff. I have a second screen of mouse and keyboard. With the dock, I have a mouse and keyboard, a USB plugged into that I set on the night, like the little end table right next to my chair. That's nice. A lovely experience. Just a lovely experience. I can sit here and play on my PC, and then walk over there and pick a controller and pick up the save and just keep playing on the TV. I'm like, man, this is utopia. This is everything. It literally is everything I could want and more. So, if you thought maybe I wasn't bringing the hype,
everything,
just know that a week later, I am definitely bringing the hype. Like Rebecca she said something on the Shack. She was like, so how long do you think you're going to keep the system? And I was like, oh, I'm not going to get rid of the Switch. I think I'm going to keep the Switch just for first part. She's like, I didn't mean the Switch. I was like, oh, the other one's going nowhere. Yeah, like she asked me, and my immediate thing that I thought she was asking is, how much longer will the Switch be
around?
Yeah. I knew that thing wasn't going nowhere. Just based on all the specs that I saw, knowing who made it, I knew this was like the keeper handheld.
It's so going nowhere. It is. When it was announced, the thing that I was saying is, I think this is everything that I wanted all of these other systems to do, right? Like, I was interested in the Edge because it was like super powerful Android. And I was interested in the G Cloud because it had a really beautiful screen, embedded controls, but it also had streaming. I was interested in the Steam Deck, said native gaming. I wanted all of those things in one. And this is that. It literally is that.
You wanted a handheld PC.
Yeah, the streaming experience is beautiful. And I know it goes understated. I know nobody cares, but if you do care about streaming, the streaming experience is gorgeous. What VRR and 120 refresh rate does to cloud gaming, I mean, like, you can't go back. There's no other. It's that noticeable. It's impeccable. It really turns down like that feeling of latency. That feeling of delay is really cut in half with that. Like, it's noticeable. So I am playing games on it. I played a lot of a game that we can't talk about. We have a game for review.
Nope.
And, can't talk about that yet?
We are under wraps.
Nope.
When is the embargo lift for that?
Next show, next podcast.
Okay.
We'll talk about it on the next podcast. But I've played about 8 hours of it so far. I put in some hours, mostly on the Ally. Not always, but mostly on the Ally. Having a lot of fun.
Funny. I put in most miles on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Because I'm also reviewing the game.
That's the only place you can.
No, I can do it on my laptop. Just don't want to.
That doesn't even count. That doesn't. No. Do you play anything on your laptop?
I will not answer that here.
1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth rejected. Oh God.
That was a good one. Well, Donnie, I'm glad that you're living your absolute best Ally life,
man,
and just enjoying it. I know it's everything that you've wanted it to be, as far as a handheld system that you can just play what you want, wherever you want, in a great performing system.
I'm literally walking around with all of my favorite games at all times. Not a section of them, Not half of the library, like literally all of my favorite games.
That's bananas.
Game Pass.
Yeah.
No problems. I still don't think it's for everybody. Don't hear my
No,
excitement,
it's not.
enthusiasm is wrong. If you're not willing to adopt PC gaming, then this isn't
That's
for
the
you.
part. That's
right?
the part. It is not.
You're not
pick up and
willing to
play.
set
It's
up
not a console.
launchers and all that. If emulation scares you, if you don't want to do all that, then this isn't for you. But if you are, this is awesome. And especially Steam. Steam is a very Steam Deck-like experience. Big picture mode, everything looks like Steam. All the options are like Steam Deck. I mean, it feels like I'm playing Steam Deck. So
That's dope.
dig
It's
it.
dope.
What about you, Delvin? Other than Redacted, what you been up to?
I haven't been up to much, man. It's been a very relaxing, calm and reflective week, honestly speaking. You know, the last few weeks have been kind of like this Zen-like thing where I've been like, do I need the podcast? Like, nah, I don't need the podcast. This is one of those things, like, you know, I've been in a good mood. And it's kind of been more reflective on life than anything. Like, for example, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you guys and everybody else who celebrates Father's Day. But this past weekend, my girl took me to, she bought me a giant balloon, among other
We
things.
saw your photos. I showed
we
those to my
saw
wife. She was like, "Those are your kids?" I was like, "No." I don't think you realized how much it looked like your kids did that.
Yes.
It's pretty creepy.
They didn't have daddy. Happy Daddy's Day.
For those of you that didn't see the picture, Delvin sent us a picture of a hotel room that very much looked like a Valentine's Day,
Yes.
but the balloon said Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, it does. I have the
blue
balloon right there.
flowers, blue petals.
Right. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Looked a little
Finish.
suspect.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little.
But
Little sus.
yeah, but she took me to a gaming bar called Glitch,
Nice.
which is pretty cool. It's
Good name.
a retro gaming bar where you
Barcade?
have to
Yeah.
Barcade. That's a good
There
good
you
name
go.
for it.
That's what they're
You
called.
have
That is the name. That is the name
They're
for
called
it.
no, they actually call it a retro gaming bar, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Nobody
it's
says
weird.
that.
It's a
This is
barcade,
Miami.
but
Please, we're gonna go out to the retro gaming bar.
yeah.
It's-
know how
it's
Delvin
That's what.
describes
No,
things, right?
that's barcades in Canada. They're called the retro gaming bars.
Much more retro gaming bar.
You have to buy.
We
like
don't do
this-
that here.
the cool thing, I guess, is the drinks are free. Not the drinks are free. The game's free. You have to buy.
There it is.
You have to buy a bottle of alcohol.
What a great business strategy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The drinks are free, but you've got to pay us for every game that you want to play. That shit would go under so fast.
Yeah. But it was pretty fun. You know, I had a lot of fun playing that. It just these past few weeks, like, you know, the week before was her birthday, and this week was Father's Day. It just kind of made me like put things in perspective. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe I need to take time more for myself. Relax and enjoy life. Just look at the flowers and enjoy things for what it is. And that's kind of what I've been doing.
Nice.
I wish I had the LL Cool J "I Need Love" intro, because that's what you sound like.
That one I
When
actually
I'm
get.
alone in my room, just
At the wall. Hear my
I need
conscience call.
love.
I need love.
Wow. That took me back. I haven't heard that in many years.
I am ladies love. Ladies love Cool Delvin. But it's been great. Like, it's been
Cap.
a really no. That ain't cap at all. Surprisingly, it's not. But it's been really good. No complaints, man. And it's been
that's good.
very relaxing. I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom still, and the Redacted game. And the Redacted game is a game I can't speak about, but all will be revealed in a week.
Yep.
But I've been
Nice.
very happy this week. Very, very
Get
happy.
excited.
Be excited. Happy that we are reviewing games, and it's dope.
I'm glad.
Yes, Jonathan 32.
Everybody's-
I define myself as semi-attractive. That is correct.
That's hilarious.
Haley got me on XP job too, by the way. Here I am sitting on phone with Sean, like 12:30 in the morning. Haley's like, Donnie, you're gonna love PSXP. We didn't talk about TV this time.
Yeah.
First 20 damn minutes of them
Glad
talking
I
about
had
CW's whole like lineup. Like their fall lineup,
Glad
shows
her
that have been
ass off.
canceled and everything. Like it might as well just be an entertainment show. I mean, let's turn it. They should call it
Well,
TV
it can't-
Guide instead of PSXP.
Well, we tried. People don't
Did
come
you?
for TV Guide. You put we trick people to come in, say we're gonna talk about PlayStation, then we don't talk about it. We talk about everything but PlayStation. That's the trick.
Come for the TV, stay for the PlayStation.
What
Yeah.
PlayStation?
Yeah.
There's not.
Is Delvin talking about
Jesus
Hellblade?
Christ. What?
Yeah.
Hellblade's fantastic.
You need to save
What have y'all
XP.
done to my show?
Yeah,
What
right.
have-
That,
what
you,
have
you,
guys
if you haven't
done to
listened
my show?
lately,
What is this nonsense?
No. You don't get to say that we done our show. You left. You quit.
I did.
You don't get to say I take your back seats now. No.
Delvin's out here.
This is
Plymouth
your
Rock laid it
fault.
on me.
As far as I'm
Exactly.
concerned, the last episode is episode 100. So
That's
this
true.
new
It's
stuff,
in the
I don't know
feed.
what that is. It's in
Saw
the
it,
feed.
yeah.
Like,
It's in the feed.
This
If you go to YouTube,
This is the college
that's
years.
it.
PSXP, the college years.
I'll take this shit back.
Like
that's
the
the correct
CW.
answer.
Like the CW, none of that stuff matters. Nobody knows it. It doesn't count. Like it's not. It's a bunch of made up
Yeah,
shows.
much like the Flash on the CW. After the first season, no one cares. That's exactly what happened. After the first season, they're like, "All right, we're done here. We don't have to check out any more of this. We're
I
good."
couldn't believe it. I got all
That's-
excited, pressed play, started hearing about the Green Lantern and shit. Like what?
She lied to you.
Yeah,
She
that's
got you. Got him,
Mhm.
coach.
she 100% did. She 100% did.
Long
I
time.
forgot we talked. How the fuck you forget we talked about it? We talk about goddamn TV shows every episode. You bring it up. She brings it up. It's not like, how do you forget something you brought
I'm
up?
just gonna start starting at like the 30-minute mark.
That's a good idea.
Just scroll forward
Just-
and like whatever I miss, I
just
miss.
start-
Like it's just long. It's just not worth it. You know, it's like oh, I don't
You know what I should do? I should start cutting the episodes
and just start
right
putting
after, right after we get to the news. The episode starts after we get what hell he's playing. We cut like 20 minutes out, and it just fades into her talking what she's playing.
Wow. Just
Oh,
for me, I'm
man.
flattered.
That's hilarious. As for me, I've been busy. Just been busy as hell, been tired, been in just a funk. Haven't really played a whole lot of games. Still playing Jedi's Star Wars Survivor or whatnot. It's pretty good. Got to some story beats that I was not expecting. So that's been cool.
Thanks.
My son has dominated the Switch, so I have not had time to play Tears of the Kingdom. I did buy just my Joy-Cons were trash. I bought the
Aren't they all?
Hori split. Yeah, they are.
Yes, they are.
Split Pad Pros.
Not the pros,
The compacts?
Compact. Yeah, I bought the
Yeah.
compacts.
Those are my
And
shit.
those
I love the
feel
compacts.
Really nice. So
Yeah.
that's where because my son, my poor son, was just struggling because the drift. Like he was just having such a hard time. I was like, "Here you go, man. I got you some new Joy-Cons. Don't break 'em.
Nintendo
Like,
Switch
just
Tokyo
take care
Drift.
of it." Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's been really enjoying that and been playing a lot of games on there because now he can. He's also been playing a lot of Sonic.
Did
so
you
I've
get the
been
base
watching him play
colors or
that.
did you get a design? I have the Gengar ones.
They're just yellow and white.
Okay.
That's all they had. So,
That's
but
cool.
yeah, he's been doing that. I've just been watching him play more than
The
anything. I haven't
compacts
really
are
played
better
much
than the
anything.
pros.
Why?
In my opinion. They're not nearly as bulky.
Mm.
Like the split pad pros were really bulky, but they also like
It is.
the thing that I always hated about them, and it's a really dumb thing to say. I've always said this. It's like a really just a weird Donnie design. But the way the split pad pros worked, like if this was your Switch and like this is the screen laying flat, when the split pad pros connected to it, it would like sit above the screen a little. So the screen was kind of like recessed in. And
That's
that
weird.
dip always like I was like, why isn't it flush? What is wrong with this? Like it always bothered me. It made me feel like if you dropped it, it would break off or whatever. Like it just didn't sit flush. It didn't look good to the eye. Where the compacts
It
do.
doesn't.
And for
Yeah,
that
compacts
reason
are nice and
alone,
st-
I'd be like,
yeah.
get the compacts. Because I hated the way it looked and it just felt weird. It felt like you're holding on to like the back of it because it's further away than the controller. I don't know. Like I said, I realize it's dumb. It's probably just my own eye. I have a weird eye for how I want things to be, and I just didn't like it. I was like, I just don't like that. That's bad.
Well, my son's been happy. That's all that matters. They feel good. I'm happy.
Yeah. The
so yeah,
are good.
Been doing that. Been playing Star Wars. And that's really been it.
That
I ain't
sounds
had
pretty
time
good,
for
man.
anything else.
Yeah.
Been
Sounds
busy
good.
as all hell. Yeah. Well, Johnny, enough of our shenanigans and nonsense. Let's get into the news.
That's still an epic bumper.
That is.
Can we do something?
Hmm.
When it comes on and when it gets ready to say a lane, can we just say redacted?
Yeah,
Like
I was gonna
beeped
say,
out.
we got
You
like,
redacted.
We just get like a robo voice to be like, we'll just insert other people's names. Be like, Haley, Rebecca. Sometimes YouTube takes down the shows because of that one, but I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep playing it.
It's worth it.
So we'll just, it's worth it.
My favorite
We'll figure it out. We'll make it work.
That one is fucking epic. John,
It's epic. It's so good.
An amazing job with that one. Just thank you. Thank you, sir. It's so good. We appreciate you.
Lots of news. The final chapter of Callisto Protocol, called The Final Transmission, comes out June 27th. You can play it early if you get it on PlayStation. It'll be out on June 29th for all other platforms. So Callisto getting that check from old Uncle Ryan for that early weekend. We had a Nintendo Direct today. Obviously, we'll break down every single announcement, for which there are many. This was a big Direct, guys. There was a lot of shit in there. There was a ton of games. Yeah. I took notes and like my hands hurt by the time that thing finished.
No, it was huge.
We'll talk about it all this Sunday on Nintendo Shack, but do you guys have any favorites or highlights? Anything you want to shout out?
I didn't watch a single drop of it. I heard about the
You
Mario.
should.
Oh, that's really cool.
There's a ton of Mario games.
I'm gonna
Only thing
like
I
a shit
saw
ton of Mario.
was
so much Mario.
Super Mario Wonder, and I showed both my
Super
kids
Mario
that
Wonder.
They fucking love Mario, bastards.
Yeah. They should call it Wonder Bros.
Super Wonder Bros.
Yeah. I love that game, and I'm definitely getting that game. I'm all in on that one day one. There's an interesting thing about that one. Somebody that's done Nintendo podcasts, I hear lots of YouTubers and personalities and other journalists and stuff, especially on podcasts. There's been a lot of shade thrown at the new Super Mario Bros. Style of Mario game, because we've gotten a lot of them since like the DS. We got them on DS, we got them on 3DS, we got them on Wii, we got them on Wii U, right? So we've had like 10 years of like, probably 10 more than 10 at this point, but we've had, give or take, we've had like 10 years of this new Super Mario Bros. Style. So there have been lots of rumors for a couple weeks. If you guys didn't know this, been lots of rumors for a couple weeks that Nintendo was going to announce a new 2D Mario game. A lot of people were like, I just don't want it to be new Mario Bros. Whatever you got to do, just don't do new Mario Bros. Can't have that same style. Now, this is very different. Like what they're doing is different. It's zany and wackier, and it's like a twist on things. But to me, it is still very much similar to like new Mario. Like if you're just judging on the aesthetic and the style, I'm like, yeah, this looks like the kind of the 2D stuff.
This is what Mario Brothers looks like now. Period.
Yeah. And I've always just thought it was like, and I understand, like, I don't resist the urge for people to want like something to be freshened up, but I've really liked the new Super Mario Bros. Stuff. So I haven't hated it as much. So I'm interested to hear how other people respond to this. If like the zany stuff wins them over, or if they still hold on to that. I don't want it to be like it, because I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, this is more of that, just crazer, like just a little crazy twist on top of it.
What do you want a 2D Mario to look like?
I think a lot of people are wanting a different style. Like the way that I've often heard it presented is like Mario 3 is very different from Mario World, right? They wanted a different style, different world, different music, like a different aesthetic.
Better graphics because it's 16-bit versus 18-bit. They had maxed out what they could do on the NES.
Or even Mario Bros. To Mario 3, right? Very different.
Yeah.
It's like, the beginning of a generation versus the end of a generation. You learn the system and you can get more out of it. So yeah, of course it's going to look different and better. And then you got 16-bit, so now you've got a whole new palette you can play with. So I thought
this looks great.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
gonna
did
lie.
too.
I
It looked
thought it
awesome.
looked amazing. It looked incredible. I'm definitely there from day one. I gotta figure out what else I'm there for day one on. Probably Mario RPG, but I gotta that is a dream game for a lot of people. They're remaking. If you guys didn't see they're remaking
I
Super
did see
Mario
that.
RPG. That's like a dream
'Cause I
announcement for a
heard
lot
it.
of people. It's just not for me. I'm probably gonna get it
never-
because I get most
never
Mario
played the
everythings.
RPG.
But like, I'm personally not like, I can't wait to day one replay of Mario RPG. It's like, I don't know. I'm probably okay.
I liked it. I liked it when it came out. So
I got to
that
figure
way.
out what my other game is going to be. There's another game in the showcase that it's because I'm probably going to get vouchers. So that's what in my head I'm thinking like, what am I going to use my other voucher on? And I'm not exactly
Detective
sure
Pikachu.
yet. Maybe.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
So,
oh yeah, my son talking about that one. I'm excited for that one too.
I need to see more of that game before I make a decision because that game, there was a Detective Pikachu game that came out on 3DS. It's very much like a visual novel kind of like adventure game where like literally you're like presented like a scene and then you make Pikachu walk around and check on like different clues and then you put 2 and 2 together and solve the crime, and it's very boring. I really didn't like it. In the trailer they showed today, they didn't really show a lot of gameplay that I remember. I saw a lot of like Pikachu talking and cutscenes, which looked adorable. But like, if the gameplay is the same, that's a hard pass. If the gameplay is different or better, then I might be interested. I'm not sure yet. I gotta relook it. I haven't really thought about the direct since this morning because I had to go to work. So I gotta reevaluate those things. But definitely on Mario Wonder. That looked incredible. I can't wait to play that. Maybe, and I would say the Metal Gear thing, that would be an easy one for me, but I'm getting Metal Gear physically. So the voucher does me no good there.
And I mean, is it coming? Is Metal Gear coming to PC?
Oh, I'm getting on multiple systems. I'm buying the game multiple times.
But if it's coming to PC, you just
I'm playing it. That's what I'm doing. Yep.
Yeah,
that's where I'm playing it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get a Switch copy for the shelf.
How about you just buy a Switch box? You just saw somebody say the box.
I don't want the box. I want the whole. I want the game. The cartridge is like Death's Door.
I want the whole shebang.
I got Death's Door on Switch after I already beaten it and played it. I still got the Switch copy. This is the first time Metal Gear, I think Solid has been like with the Twin Snakes, right? Metal Gear Solid 2, like these never graced Nintendo platforms. I don't think Metal Gear Solid ever hit Xbox, right? Ever?
Probably not. No.
Solid. I think it did. Didn't it? Substance
not
hit?
the original.
Yeah, not the original.
Not the original. Not the first one, but 2 and 3 did.
Yeah. So like for those reasons, I want to have. I want to have multiple copies. Plus, like Switch stuff just holds its value. It's nice to have. So I plan on getting that. But I won't be using vouchers on that. So I got to do something like that. Xbox has a lot of news. Like literally, we have a lot of Xbox news to talk about. So let's start with
again.
Yeah, a lot. There's an indie showcase that is announced on July 11th. It'll be streamed via IGN, and it'll be followed by an Xbox game demo fest. So they'll have a bunch of Xbox demos. You can do it. But yeah, they're doing everything on IGN. So all of IGN's channels, the website, the Twitch, the YouTube, and everything, they're hosting this Xbox Direct. I wanted to ask you about this. Do you think that reaches more or less people than Xbox doing it themselves?
Probably more.
I agree.
More.
Yeah.
More.
Same.
Yeah. Makes sense. It's a good partnership. IGN is still probably one of the go-tos when people are thinking about gaming news, gaming journalism, and not with a ridiculous biased twist. Like it's IGN, Yeah.
Game Pass, Need for Speed Unbound comes out. Is that out today? No, tomorrow. Along with The Bookwalker. And the 27th, Bramble Mountain King comes out, and that one I'm excited for. Have you guys seen that game?
Nope. I have it.
Do you have it?
I got it a while back. Yes. I have not played it yet. It looks amazing. It looks like a story, like a grim fairy tale storybook type game.
Yeah. It's like Little Nightmares, like fairy tale, like Little Nightmares kind of thing. It looks really good. Then they have Fist Forged in Shadow, Torch.
I love that game. That game is great. It's a Metroidvania.
That's the rabbit with the big fist.
Yeah, it's like a Metroidvania, but it's more melee focused.
Oh, okay.
So I picked that one up. Like when it came to PS4 or 5 a while back.
I think we talked about it on here a while back.
I feel like we talked about it on XP.
That might
like when I was on XP. Yeah. But it's a cool little Metroidvania.
Story of Seasons, Friends in Mineral Town drops on the 29th. Arcade Paradise hits on the 3rd. And then Sword and Fairy Together Forever drops on the 5th of July. Have you seen that one?
I have not seen that one. I don't
It's
know
a really beautiful, like, Japanime action RPG, but like looks really good. So if you're into that, give it a look.
I am.
Because I was like, literally, I saw the title and was ready to make fun of it. But like I do every time I prepare notes, I usually scrub through some trailers to get an idea of what each one is. And when I saw that trailer, I was like, oh shit, that actually looks really good. Like it visually looks really good. Yeah, it's Sword and Fairy, which is a franchise, Together Forever. So. Okay, on to probably more important news. Xbox has announced they are hiking their prices. Quote, we've held on to our prices for consoles for many years and have adjusted these prices to reflect the competitive conditions in each market, says Kari Perez, head of communications for Xbox. The Xbox Series X will go up in price in most markets outside of the US, Chile, Japan, Brazil, and Colombia. The price increase varies from region to region, but it's usually between 6 and 10%. They're essentially matching the Series X price to the PS5 disc price in all other regions except for the ones that I just read. Those prices are staying the same. The Series S will remain flat at $249.99. And well, first, before we talk about the next one, what do you guys think about that? Some shit in it.
I mean, we knew this was coming.
This is shit. And I'm going to be just as mad about this as I was about that. This is shit. How do you give $70 billion to fucking spend, but you need to raise your price for inflation? The fuck over yourself. In other markets except the good ones. What?
Because they need more.
They don't need anything. It's because they can. They're doing it because they can. And it's shit.
Exactly.
It's shit.
It is. I agree.
This is bullshit. And it looks terrible. They're trying to win these appeal. They're trying to fight regulators. And at the same time, they're like, let's raise the price. Well, let's go ahead and do that.
It's like, you know what? If Sony can get away with
it,
we might as well.
Man, it's terrible. Oh, it's terrible.
Go ahead and get this money.
And shout out to Sean. Last week, he's been saying this for like literally since the console launched. They don't have like a digital Series X to offer you cheaper. Their cheaper alternative is literally the S.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's even worse.
Jack that up.
It's even worse. Yeah, because they did. Yeah, they're 1 terabyte model. They raised the price on it. And here I was thinking that maybe they did that to stop from doing this. And like, hell no, they're just going to do both.
Nope.
And it's just double shit. It's bullshit. I hate this. I hate this idea. And so I'll give Meta some credit. Meta raised the price, but then what do? Then they lowered it. Right? The thing that worries me with Sony and Microsoft is they're not going to lower it. This is just going to become the price, and then the next console will launch at this price too. They're literally doing it because they can get away with it.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for a long time.
I'm very upset.
They're doing these things because we allow it. Game prices went up not because they needed to, it's because they knew we'd pay it. And they're going to keep going up because they know we're going to pay it. Simple as that.
Yep.
I understand inflation is a thing, but I don't care about Microsoft.
Inflation is stupid.
No. Inflation's real, but you're the one that chose to make a damn product. It's not my fault the price of your parts increased. That's your cost to float, not mine. You can be like, well, this costs us more to make. That's your fucking problem. Find a way to make it cheaper. That's the price of the product in the system, so
they can lower them.
Is
they only
ours.
Raise the price of the parts,
but even then, we're talking about a company that has trillions. Mm-hmm. What difference does $50 in Spain matter to them? I would argue very little, an unnoticeable amment.
Like, let's go ahead and tax these Spaniards because they're not even really going to notice.
They're not even going to buy it. Yeah. Europe is PlayStation country anyway. Nobody's buying those out there. And I don't mean to dismiss I'm sure there are people that play Xboxes in the UK, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
There's a couple.
And there's a couple. It's like Japan, right? There's a couple.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot.
I feel bad for our Canadian brothers and sisters who have to take this hike. That's who I really feel bad for.
Yeah.
Damn. It's already more expensive there, and now it's even more expensive. Yikes.
I don't care. I don't care if it's good. I see JL Rose. I see you. I don't care. Okay? $1 trillion. They make all the money in the world. They have no idea where it all is.
Yeah.
You're
I've
been
literally
saying
$70 billion to buy Activision.
In cash.
Cash money.
Not in interest, in stocks, and in venture loans and bank. No, in cash.
Cash.
Money. Cash.
We gotta stop caping for these companies like this.
Right,
like, oh,
exactly.
They have
I'm
to do
not
it.
gonna sit here
No.
and make excuses for them. Fuck that.
Trillionaires.
Shit, man. That is literally
poor
like the
Xbox.
1%. We proclaim this all the time in this country, right? This is absolutely absurd.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna need another $45 from you. Get out of here.
Fuck you mean? Yeah, nah.
God, how about
Giving
you
you
stop
enough.
running so many sales on all your games and earn some money that way?
Yeah.
Like, how about you
Or,
find
just put out
other
good
ways?
games.
Sell another controller. Sell another USB drive. Figure it the fuck out. Make a new
Which are
t-shirt.
also marked up ridiculously as it is.
Sell another tape
Yeah.
player. Get a Zune
Or at
out.
least
Fucking figure
do
it
something
out.
to the system to make it worth it. Like, hey, it's
Aren't
$50
you
more, but
guys-
we're adding something.
Do
to
a
it.
special edition.
You're
Sell a
taxing us enough for
$500 or
Microsoft and
$700
Office as it is.
Starfield one. Like, come on.
Yes.
There's so many other
Anything
ways.
else?
There's so many other ways of doing it than this. This console's been out for 3 years, and they raised the price.
It's not getting any
Like, nah,
better.
here's more.
They didn't cut the
They-
price. They raised it.
They waited till they were going to finally have some good games out. This is such bullshit. Such bullshit.
And if that wasn't enough, they also have announced that they've raised the price of Xbox Game Pass, which will be going up nearly everywhere beginning next month. July 6th, the price for Game Pass Ultimate is increasing $2 a month from $15 to $17. The price for base console Game Pass is increasing $1 a month from $10 to $11. Funnily enough, if you subscribe to just PC Game Pass,
Not changing.
not changing at all. You know why? Because I think they know if they change it, people would quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In console, they won't.
That, or they're like, we already got you for Windows and you probably got Office 365. We don't need to raise this one.
This one I'm maybe a little bit more. Yeah, this one I'm definitely more like timid with. I'm not
Yeah.
nearly as angry
Yeah.
about it. We
It's not
always
as
knew a
bad.
price increase was going to come. I
Yeah.
also think that the timing of the Activision stuff, I think maybe necessitates this happening, because I think this is a way worse look for Microsoft if they tell all the regulators they're not going to do anything, they're going to make all these deals, and then they get Activision and then they raise the price.
Yeah.
Right. Then everybody's like, see, we fucking told you. Right. So I honestly think with this, I think they're trying to get it out of the way.
Yep.
I think they're like, let's get it out of the way before Call of Duty shows up. Let's go ahead and raise the price.
Absolutely.
I think that might be what's going on here.
Even
And it's
still,
only, it
with
is
the
only,
price
it's
cost,
only $1.
$2.
Couple
Yeah.
bucks. It's not the big.
Even with the price cut, it's still the best, best deal in gaming.
People,
Still,
nobody pays. Very few people. I don't say nobody again. Blanket statements. I'm sorry. Very few people pay full retail for Game Pass, and if you do,
Exactly.
you're not trying hard enough. You don't have to.
You need to come talk to Deals with Donnie. He'll find
Yeah,
it
there's
for you
all
way
buy
cheaper.
two get ones, get half off, 33% off. Like if you're paying full retail
Yeah.
for Game Pass, like you are spending
just
more money
wait
than you
till
need to.
Black Friday and load up for a few years and call it a day.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If this is going to be a continuing trend, which it will, whenever that day comes where I have to actually reconsider, like I may drop down to the PC tier. The only thing that would give me pause is two things: Jack, who still plays online with his friends, and Cloud, which I still use from time to time. Those are the only two things that give me pause.
Look,
But if
it's
the
real
price,
simple.
if the
You tell
difference
Jack
was,
to get a job, and pay for his own damn Game Pass.
if the difference, let's say the difference at one point becomes like $5 a month
Mhm.
over a year or many years, I'll just drop down. Like, okay, I'm just going to go to the PC Pass. I don't need those things. I can live without them.
So my question is, with all this, where the hell is the goddamn family option?
It's a good question. Where is the family plan?
Where's the goddamn
There is no
family plan?
like, there's no like sweetness in this at all. There's no like, we know this news sucks, but we've done this thing. There is no like, hey, but we dropped the price on the S, or we have a digital X, or we have
Yeah.
the family. There is none of that. It just sucks. It's just
I mean,
shitty, sucky news.
The only
Yeah.
sweetness would be as if this damn Activision deal goes through, And
yeah, there's
Starfield
not
is
even
actually
that.
coming
It's not
out.
even like starting next month Call of Duty shows up. None of that.
Yeah, none.
Just shit. Speaking of Call of Duty and Activision, the Xbox is preparing to defend itself against the FTC. Lots of filings have come out. A lot of headlines have been produced. There's so much console warring shit going on right now. Like in legal exhibits. Not like online fanboys, like legally, like documented console wars. We're not going to read it all. I don't want to. Like I just don't want to. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I will go over like the highlights.
Yeah.
So the FTC has filed their appeal, in which they state the acquisition of Bethesda is powerful evidence in favor of preventing Microsoft's purchase or merger with Activision Blizzard, alleging that precedent has been set despite the concessions that Microsoft has made that they would be inclined to make titles exclusive. So because Xbox held Starfield and Redfall, they're saying that they will do the same thing for Call of Duty. Even though they've told everybody gets 10-year deals, they're still doing it.
Yeah, that's such bullshit.
It really is.
It's like you guys don't know how to read English. Like they clearly have stated multiple times, this is not what we're going to do.
This one is very interesting. And honestly, because I think we just may see more information than we expect based coming out of discovery of this process, but counsel are currently in disagreement over access to evidence. So I believe all legal systems work this way, but I don't know how Europe and Japan and everybody else does it. But in America, like if you go to court, the defendants has the right to know the evidence that you're submitting against them. They get to see all the evidence pre-hand so they can set up a defense. They're currently arguing over who gets to read stuff because it's heavily redacted because it's full of confidential information. Who's got what deals, what those deals are, and they are currently going over who's allowed to see it. And the judge will have to determine what Microsoft can see and what the FTC can see, and what the FTC will have to share, and what Xbox will have to share. So there may be a lot of juicy shit coming out of this. Some of the stuff that they have like on docket for exhibit are emails between Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan, strategies for Xbox games on Switch, other storefronts possibly being operated on Xboxes, Xbox leadership correspondence discussing quote, this is in the exhibit, quote, pettiness from Sony and GameSpot fanboy reviewers.
That's so funny.
And the only reason that I put that in here is to back up the thing that I've said for years. Again, it's not us that drive the console wars. It's not gamers that are toxic. It comes from on high. They do this shit. They spread this shit with their little media jabs that people pick up and run with.
I mean, it's been that way for years.
Been that way forever.
Yep, since Sega and Nintendo, baby. Let's go.
And if you needed proof, there it is. Like in legal document for everyone to see.
4K.
Yeah, on 4K.
Here you go.
Another dispute the FTC has filed dismisses they're dismissing the agreements that Microsoft has put in place with competitors. And at the same time, they are dismissing regulatory approval that Microsoft has earned from the European Commission, from Japan, from Korea, from China, from Brazil. They're saying none of that matters. But in the same document that they are then presenting the CMA's rejection of the deal and their grounds for doing so. That's literally their defense. The FTC's defense is you can't pay attention to what the world says.
God.
We can only pay attention to what the CMA did. So the sources that I'm using for this are from Reddit, and it's a legal forum that have lawyers discussing this. And the lawyer was like, this is the worst defense I've ever seen. They're like, the judge is clearly going to pay attention to all regulatory approvals, not just pick one. He's not just gonna be like, well, what did the CMA say? No.
How can you just pick one?
That's
and
literally their grounds.
Disregard the many.
We want you to just use this one.
Oh my God.
But in their defense, if you just hate Xbox, in their defense, this is what they're doing. Like the CMA is making, or the FTC is making their case. And their case is better if you just look at this one. That's what lawyers do. And it's good legal practice. But when you look at it when you step back and look at all of it, looks real dumb. Looks real dumb.
That was
So
FTC being petty. Is FTC getting paid by Sony? Sony's in their pockets. Just here you go.
no, I don't know. The FTC, if you follow American politics with their new
They
kind of
suck.
head, they're just really against big tech in general.
Yeah.
They're trying to shut
suck.
down
Yes.
anything.
I hate them.
Anything. Facebook, Google, Amazon. They just filed Amazon. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
FTC just filed a lawsuit against Amazon claiming that they covertly trick people into Prime, and they're seeking
What?
damages. Yeah, like they're just on a war against big tech. It's not personal. They don't care about Xbox or anything. They don't want any big companies merging.
FTC won't let me be.
Yeah.
But unlike the
understand.
CMA, they're not all powerful. Like Microsoft can take them to court and just can get them overturned. Doesn't mean they will, but can. I have no idea what this deal is going to do anymore. I'm at this point, I have no clue. No idea if it's going to go through or not go through. I have no idea.
This was just a shoo-in. We thought
In the
this
bag.
was going to be done in the bag, no problem. Everybody really wins. Now it's just like this shit is never gonna. It just never ends. It's the never-ending story.
That might be part of it, right? If they drag it out, the deal falls through. Microsoft pays them the $3 billion exit fee, and they just get out. Go look somewhere else.
Yeah.
That might be where we're headed. I don't know. I don't know.
What happens to Activision?
I think the case, and I've said this from the start, and this isn't just because I love Game Pass. I do love Game Pass, but I think that case that the Xbox team has made is sound. I think most people, if you really take off your blinder, I think most people would have to agree with that. Like there's a sound. It's the opposite side that doesn't seem very sound. You know, there's all kinds of, they're trying to kill Sony and they're trying to do this. They're trying to none of that really seems realistic.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Right. They're not, Xbox isn't NetEase. So that's the thing. It's the bigger picture. Yeah, we've done this all year long. We're not going to keep doing this. Anyway, that's the news. Xbox news. Moving on.
Damn,
Moving
FTC.
on. Grasshopper held their delayed direct last week after it was delayed over and over and over. I thought we were being trolled. Just every 5 minutes they released a tweet and it was like, give us another 5 minutes. It happened like 8 times.
Delvin left us. Sean bounced out. I walked my dog, and then me and Donnie watched the YouTube video.
Yeah, Dev and I watched it, and it was ridiculous and shenanigans and awesome. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was.
How the fuck you delay a YouTube video?
They had a fake Suda,
bro.
They had a fake Suda dressed up in a wrestling mask. Dude kept interrupting. All the trailers kept interrupting. There was one point where they actually got us with a trailer. We didn't know if it was an ad or not. I was like, wait, is this an ad? And like, it legit wasn't. It was pretty good, man.
It was like old school, like Devolver-ish. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was shenanigans.
Yeah. Immortals of Avium is delayed to August 22nd, citing further polish and optimization and to deliver a strong launch, says EA.
Sounds good to me. Polish that turd, baby. Let's go.
I don't think it matters a whole lot, but I just think it's notable that they moved it closer to Starfield. That can't help. I don't think that could help. I don't think it really matters, though. I don't think Avium is something a lot of people care about anyway.
Yeah,
but I do.
Generic.
Like I think it looks good.
It doesn't look generic at all.
Every time I see it, I'm like, that shit looks awesome.
Yeah,
like it shows well. Yeah.
This is taking Tokyo Ghostwire Tokyo and just like bumping it up a whole
exactly
lot.
Same. That's all I've thought about. I'm like, this looks fun. So I want to play it, but I don't want to buy it. Like I'm not there. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
See, that's the problem.
Well, it's twofold.
The beauty
it's EA.
It's EA,
coming.
So
I get my trial, and it'll come to Game Pass. I don't have to buy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to play that 10-hour trial and be very happy about it.
But if you were going to buy it being closer to Starfield, I don't think helps.
No.
But I don't think that many people wanted to buy it in the first place.
Yeah.
This is August, right?
Yeah, late August.
August 22nd.
And Starfield's what, the 6th? Starfield's like 2 weeks later.
6th of September, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not even 2 weeks. Like 15.
But I mean, quite honestly,
2 weeks.
But honestly, I
That's
mean, if you're
enough
playing
time.
Starfield, you shouldn't be buying Starfield. You should have the money to buy this other game.
Game
Because
Pass.
Starfield you're getting
Fair.
for free on Game
Yeah,
Pass.
you're right. Yeah,
Like, there's
true.
absolutely no
True.
reason why you people
Truth.
don't fucking buy Starfield.
Dude, people are
It's on
buying
Game
Starfield.
Pass. Just
People are buying Starfield.
unless you're buying the stupid edition,
They're
don't buy
doing that
Starfield.
too.
Just get the Game Pass
They're getting
and play
Starfield.
it there. Okay, don't buy the
getting
stupid
Starfield.
edition. Don't do it. Don't do it.
PlayStation apparently is prepping a PlayStation 5 bundle that will come with 24 months of PlayStation Plus Premium included.
Huh, that's good.
When I first saw that, I was like, oh man, if they sell that at retail price for like the price it already has, that's a hot mover for the holidays. And then I thought, there's no way they're selling that at just standard price.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that
the
going to be
problem.
like $800 then? Like, what are they going to charge for that thing?
What is premium for a year? 100?
Yeah.
And there's 200. And what are you charging for a PlayStation 5 thing? Is it $549?
550? It's 550, right?
It can't be
Or is it
$750.
$499?
That's the
Oh,
digital.
no.
I think it's $550.
They can't charge $700 for a console, right?
I mean, they can.
We're talking about Sony. They definitely
Are we
can.
there now? Is that where we are with it?
Oh no, the console is $499. The digital is $449. Or no, $399 for the digital, $499 for. So if they're smart,
Remember, they didn't raise the
$5.99.
price here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they raised it everywhere else.
So I imagine 600 is what you're paying for this if it's real, because I don't think you can go any higher.
That's a lot.
I mean, 2
You don't
months,
think
2
you
years
can.
of premium isn't terrible.
Again, this is where I'm just like, just give it to them. Just sell the console and give them, you hook them into the service. You'll make that on the back end.
That's what I think, because quite honestly, the premium, it's not like you're getting like a bunch of new games day one. You're
Right.
getting fucking PlayStation classics.
Like at most, like mark it up, like
pay that much for
mark it up,
PS1
like
games.
mark it up $50.
$50 seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Because again, it's PS1 games that are in the highest tier.
That's a
PS1
lot.
games and streaming. Like I don't know that that's worth
I
it.
can't. Are we there now where we're just going to expect console makers to start releasing $700-$800? Like, just buy a PC. Like, I've been on this path for years now. At that point, seriously, buy a PC.
Yeah, we're getting to that point.
Out and they're like, buy our new Xbox. It's $899. I'm like, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, we're getting to that point now.
Jesus.
We're getting to the point where you're like, all right, it might be time to make that move.
No thanks, guys.
Delvin, what do we got to do to get you into a PC today, sir?
God.
If they charge you $899 for a goddamn console, I'm like, all right. I guess I'm
the
going
point
PC.
of consoles are supposed to be affordable, attainable, right? If we're charging $700-$800 for them, what the hell are we doing?
Nintendo was like $120, and then
that's more than I paid for the Ally.
I blame Sony. This is all Sony's fault.
It's
all Sony's fault, because the PlayStation was $300. It's all their fault. Because like when you had,
and
like,
maybe it
the
won't
Atari
be. Look,
Jaguar, the 3DO, nobody was buying that.
We are having fun speculating. For anybody, I feel the need to point it out. We don't know the price. Maybe the price is free. Who knows? Maybe it is the price of the console. We don't know.
It's Sony.
Yeah, but we don't think so either, though, right? Like, there's nothing in their recent history to suggest that they're going to do us a solid.
Charging a premium.
Yeah, they're not going to do us a solid. I wouldn't be surprised if they charge more than what premium would cost you just on its own.
Wouldn't shock me even a little bit.
Like, yeah, but this
is how they raise the price of the console in the US.
Oh boy.
Exactly.
Okay. EA has split their video game business into two new organizations. The first being called EA Entertainment, which would be overseen by somebody, and then that person will oversee Vince Impella, who's over all of the studios that make Star Wars games and Apex and Battlefield and all of that jazz. That's all under him.
Okay.
And another person that's over, what do they call their life sim, their single player games and simulation game, like BioWare, like the BioWare team. And I think mobile is under that branch too. And then the other branch that they've split off to is now called EA Sports, where all the sports games will be, Madden and FIFA and all that jazz. PGA Tour, whatever.
It's in the game. You would think this was already a thing. Like, how is this not already happened?
I was thinking that.
Yeah, no, this is it's a brand new thing. I honestly think the only reason they're doing it is because they did announce in this reorg that they have like 8 people retiring. Like the CEO or the COO is leaving, the CFO is leaving, like all kinds of important people. So I think they're just reorganizing for this. But with all the merger and acquisition talk and everything that we've had, I did have that thought come through my head. And I was like, what are they trying? Like, is there potentially here they're looking to maybe license or partner or something with one of their branches, probably sports? Like by doing something like this, was it easier to maybe tie in an EA Sports deal with somebody if they wanted to or something like that? Not that I think he was acquiring EA. I don't think that. But I can't help but think it with all of the business stuff we've had. But I honestly think it's just because they've got like very important people retiring and they needed to promote from within, hire new people, and they restructure. I think that's all this is. Andrew Wilson's still there. Everybody still answers to him.
If it doesn't bring back EA Sports big, I don't give a fuck.
I would welcome big comeback.
EA Sports big.
That'd
Please.
be cool. That'd be nice.
But I guess working on Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's been like a minute.
But they only showed us like them drawing and shit. They didn't really show us stuff.
And it's a whole different BioWare team. Like the people.
I imagine we'll see that next year. It'll probably come out the year after. That's probably on like that Fable timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
If I had to guess,
just let them cook. BioWare needs a win. Let them cook.
That's true. Don't release shit early. Like let it cook. Yeah. And if you think it's not done, you better put this shit back in the oven.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cook it some more.
You make sure I don't need that stuff to be done in the middle.
Okay? You don't need another anthem.
All the way through.
Yeah.
And then speaking of EA, the Brander Group, which is an NIL license group, has sued. They filed a lawsuit suing EA for trying to license around them for the upcoming EA college football game.
This game is never going to see the light of day.
Yeah, it really feels that way, doesn't it? So I did some digging, and here's what I can provide to this. The Brander Group, for if you don't know, is a collective that represents universities they have contracts with, of which are big, by the way. I did find out they represent University of Miami, Nebraska, Wyoming, Ohio State, Indiana. Like they've got big contracts. But here's the crux of this lawsuit. The Brander Group has agreements with these universities to collectively bargain NIL deals for those university athletes. EA signed a deal with a different collective for the game. Now that collective is licensing not with the universities, with the players individually. So this lawsuit, the Brander Group is arguing that this is illegal, that you're bypassing them. And essentially, if you really look at it, from afar, they're upset that EA didn't pick them. They're upset that EA picked somebody else and gave them that money instead. And they're trying to maybe force EA to work with them. And I'm no legal expert, but from what I read, I don't think there's a whole lot of standing here. There is no law that says that if you want to negotiate an NIL deal with a university, you have to use their collective. The students are free to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Like they don't have to work with the Brander Group. They just have a deal with the university to work with those students. So like the university is providing this path for you, but you are free to do whatever you want, like anybody else in the country. So I don't know. I don't think this changes anything. Actually, I think this game steams through this. I think they'll release it anyway. At worst, they'll release it with random rosters, but I think they'll just call their bluff and just release it anyway.
Yeah.
And probably settle to make it go away.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
People really want the NCAA franchise to come back. It's been
more importantly,
mired in all kind of stuff. Just make it happen.
More importantly, a lot of the kids want college football to come back. Like a lot of them, there have been extensive polls. I'm sure how much sports stuff you guys get into. There have been extensive polling with college football athletes, and it is overwhelming. There are a lot of kids that want this damn game back. They're like, dude, just make the damn game again. Okay, $500, that whatever. Here's my name. Please go forth and make the game.
Put me in it.
Right.
That was one of the cool things about, trying to be a college athlete. Like, I might get put in the video game, even if
Yeah.
it is just player 23. Like, that's me, So just come on.
The juicier part of this, and
let's get over ourselves.
What you'll see in the headlines is the Brando Group threw in their lawsuit that the kids maybe not be making as much money as they should. It has nothing to do with the lawsuit that they're actually presenting. The lawsuit they're presenting is that they were cut out.
Right.
They're just saying, like,
let me go ahead and
damages.
Make it seem like we care about the kids.
That's exactly
really
like if you read the lawsuit. If you read the lawsuit, it literally reads like that. They're like, damages. These athletes could not make as much as they should because we aren't there to negotiate for them.
They're basically the mafia, and they're charging their protection fee. That's basically what this is.
Yeah.
It's kind of a racket, but who knows? If the right judge gets this with the right mindset, they could, in the court system, you never know. Yeah. But I read 4 different sports sources on this, and they all kind of centered on, we don't think this really affects the game. At most, we think they'll probably settle just to make them go away, because there's no exclusivity making the players license with them. It'd be different if they were like, if the school negotiated those rights on behalf of the team. So like if Ohio State said, you give us money and you can use all of our players, but they're not doing that. You actually have to get every signature for every player. So I don't know. We'll find out.
I gotta wonder if there's like any players who have some kind of crazy deal where they can't appear in the game.
Oh, I definitely think there will be stars that'll hold out of the game. I guarantee it. Somebody will hold out for more money. Mm-hmm. And the question is just how does EA deal with it?
I was thinking more like the deals were like, for example, Barkley made that really terrible Barkley Shut Up and Jam game, so he couldn't appear in any
you think somebody goes on their own?
And then Jordan has this stupid Chicago Windy City.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work because there's not enough. I don't think there's any competition with NCAA football. There's not enough games to be made.
Well, I was thinking less like other games, just like if there's some weird marketing deal that they have with something that doesn't allow.
Oh, it's like you're exclusive and you can't. Mm-hmm. Possibly, yeah. I could see that. I think marketing likeness has just come a long way since the 90s. The 90s was kind of like the dawn of that. People were figuring it out. I think we figured it out now.
I wish they'd figure it out and release this damn game so I can stop hearing people complaining about it not being a thing.
One of the things that I think we'll probably see that I haven't heard talked about a whole lot, I think we'll see different cover athletes for different systems.
That would be cool.
That way they can set up multiple deals with multiple kids.
Yeah.
Because let's say there's like
based on your city.
Well, I think there's like 5, like maybe let's say there's like 5 Heisman finalists, right? And they're all arguing over, they're all holding out on who gets to be the cover and who gets the most money. And I think there's an easy solution. We're like, all right, we're going to put you on the Switch version. We're going to put you on the PC copy. We're going to put you on the Xbox version. You'll be on the collector's edition. You'll be on the PlayStation copy, and you all get paid. And now we can all just move forward.
I feel like they did something like that with an NBA Live game where it was regional. Based on where you bought the game, you got the cover athlete that was like for that.
I absolutely
region.
Could see something like that.
I think that would be awesome. Like if you're in like the South, you get whoever the hell is Alabama.
Or they could license for like, let's say the big programs. They could license like a specific like version, like a specific cover that you could order, and the kids just get a cut of that. You get like a 0.5% for every copy we sell with your face on it, or something like
Cali, that. We want the SC version. Whoever it is, it's just the S. Come on, give us the SC version. Florida, y'all probably want some terrible version. We'll give the Alabama, the Florida Bama area. We'll give you somebody from Bama. Up in the Midwest,
I love you put them two together. The Florida Bama version.
Yeah.
That sounds all sorts of awful.
The Florida Bama, sure.
Florida Bama. I think we have a new state in the union, right? Florida Bama.
Florida Bama. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Gold Coin presents. It says, what will be the best selling game of October on the US MPD? Spider-Man 2 or Super Mario Bros. Wonder? We all got Final Fantasy 16 correct, so the score is Delvin 15, Tevin Donnie 14 and 14. So Delvin, you have the con.
Ooh, this is hard. They both come out the same day, don't they?
Is this hard?
Don't help him. He's in the lead. Let him make his own mind.
I'm gonna say Mario.
No, I'm gonna say Mario too. I'm not gonna disagree with that.
Yeah, me too.
Mario's gonna
This
outstill
not
Span.
even.
It's gonna, especially because they're both coming on the same day and it's not a full month. Mario's gonna gangbusters steamroll Spider-Man.
Yeah, not even.
Spider-Man's gonna be great,
a little
but
bit.
there's not a this. We're talking about very different,
close.
Yeah, different things here between Spider-Man and Mario.
Do you want to pick Spider-Man, Delvin? Just pick Spider-Man. Just go
Aren't
out
you
on
Mr. XP?
Yeah, come on, XP. You're the PlayStation guy, right?
Flex on us. Tell us how great Spider-Man is.
Come on. Spider-Man 2 is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, right?
Yeah, like, you come for the crown, you best come.
Not even a little.
Watch Sony be like, Spider-Man's coming out October 2nd. Let's push it back 8 days.
Mario's not even going to include digital sales, and they're still going to wipe the floor with Spider-Man.
Facts.
Yeah.
Goddamn Nintendo and their cute awesomeness.
Game looks incredible. It's so zany.
Really?
Somebody in the Discord was like, Super Mario Bros. On acid. I'm like, fucking yeah, it is. It looks cool.
Super Mario Brothers has always been on acid.
Yeah,
you get a fire flower, you get a mushroom, they get bigger.
Like
it's an acid trip.
I love what they're doing with this. And it really does look nice.
Yeah. Looks very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, when she was watching her and the pipe like scrunch, she was like, what the? She was so confused.
Yeah. I love the environmental stuff they started doing the new Super Mario's, like with the dark levels and all the different things and it looks like they're really going hard on that, and that's cool. Because like in new Super Mario Bros. U, those were like special one-offs, and now it looks like that might be like a common reoccurrence, and I'm like, fuck it, let's go. I'm a 2D Mario person. I think that differs. I'm 2D Mario, 3D Zelda, and a lot of people are 2D Zelda, 3D Mario. I'm the opposite.
I'm a 2D. If I have to play a Mario, I'd rather play a 2D Mario. I don't want to play another 3D Marios. I never liked Mario 64.
And to be clear, I love them both, but if given the option, always 2D Mario over 3D Mario.
I'd prefer I love 3D Zelda if I liked Zelda. Yeah. I don't like these new 3D Zeldas. They're not doing it for me. Ocarina of Time. It's a great game. These new ones.
Excellent. I love 3D Zelda. I'll take 3D Zelda over any 2D Zelda all day. Ocarina, Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Let's go. Twilight. It's my jam.
I want them to remake Twilight Princess because I feel like that'd be one that I'd actually like.
They did. They remastered it. It's really nice. It's beautiful.
I said remake, Donnie.
It's kind of like a remake. It's just as much as Skyward Sword got a remake. It's similar.
Remastered make. There you go.
Yeah, it's very nice. It actually is very nice. Here's how nice it is. Here's what I remember. And I don't have a Twitter account to prove it anymore. But years ago, I posted a screenshot of me playing Twilight Princess HD. And you remember Chris, Married to the Games? Bread fan?
Yes. Yeah.
He responded back to me and he was like, holy shit, that's what it looks like on the Wii? Like it caught his attention, just the picture of my TV with Twilight Princess. I was like, no, like this is what Twilight Princess HD looks like. This is Wii U. This is how good. He was like, man, it looks
that
really
doesn't
nice.
But see that doesn't help me. I need to be on the Switch.
Well, I think that's coming one day. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what I need. Because any other system doesn't help me because I don't have those and I'm not getting them.
Hey,
so it needs to
not to
switch.
Do too much of my Shaq spiel, but that's really what I took away from today's direct, and that's really so. Rebecca's been warming me up to the idea that there was going to be a Mario game this year for months, and I've really come over to her on this one. But the thing that I've been kind of saying for a while is the reason I thought we would get a direct, as these rumors were floating about, is because I'm further and further getting the sense that Switch, whatever, I don't think's coming anytime soon. People are like, oh, it's coming out next year. I'm like, no, I'm not so sure it's coming next year. A lot of people think it's definitely coming out in March.
Several years.
Yeah, I don't know. And it really,
every year they say that.
I get this sense Nintendo's about ready to crank out a bunch of Switch games. Get excited, guys. I think,
yeah.
and that's what I took away from today's direct. Do they announce I don't know, I didn't count, but off the top of my head, do they announce 8 to 10 exclusives that are coming out in the next year? And that just screams to me, I'm like, is there a new system coming? I hope so. I'm not saying there's not, but now I'm not so sure.
I mean, There's always a new system coming. It just ain't coming anytime soon.
Yeah. People think it's next spring. I'm starting to think maybe earliest next fall, if not the spring after, which I think is really people are like, what? But
Yeah.
Lock in. About to get a lot of software.
2025.
I get the sense they're going to like really extend this out. They're going to drag it out a little.
Yeah.
And I think it's
You might get a new
because
Switch next year.
I think it's because of all of the recent like entrants to the mobile space. I think they don't want to lock themselves into a console yet. Personally, that's just my speculation. I'm wondering with the Steam Deck, with the Ally, with the G, and I'm wondering if they're like, whoa, hold up. Let's see what they're doing first, right? Because once they lock in, you know, like these are consoles, these aren't PCs. Once they lock in, they're locked in. Like that's what they're doing for the next 5-7 years, right? So I think that's the only reason I say that, and people listen, Shaq have already heard me say this. There were on record, like very credible sources that said 2 years ago, 3 years ago at this point, developers had dev kits for the next system. That's a real thing.
Yep.
And then Nintendo pulled them. And I think that's why. I kept thinking, why? Why would they? I've never heard of anybody doing that. Here's your dev kit. We're ready to launch the system. Nope, never mind. Forget everything we just said. And my only reason for coming up with it is that. Is I'm wondering if maybe they were under spec. Maybe the Steam Deck made them reconsider things. Maybe there's new technology we don't know about. I have no idea why, but that's my best chance at trying to connect those dots on what they might mean.
That's about right.
That's it, man. Questions?
All right. Let's jump into these here questions. Starting us off with the sports tip, Spoken Joe says, top 3 sports jerseys from the 90s.
The Suns.
That's a good
Those
one.
ones are pretty
Those
fresh.
purple Sun Barkley jerseys were the shit.
Mm-hmm.
And still are. They should go back to them. Like those jerseys are it.
Those jerseys were dope. Yep. 1000%. I'll give you that.
The Sonics.
That's a great one.
I don't like those.
What? Oh, just hurts. Now I don't. That doesn't even. That's painful.
I just.
I put the Jazz, but I don't think you agree.
No.
Those are hideous.
The Rocky Mountain Jazz jerseys, I fucking love those jerseys.
No,
those jerseys are amazing. They're so much better than the jerseys they have today. What?
No, they're not.
When you were like, you're gonna like the Raptors jerseys. I don't like the Raptors, but I love those Jazz jerseys.
Those Jazz jerseys are horrible.
They're the best.
No, the new Jazz jerseys look way better. These
way worse. Not even a little bit.
Ugh.
Okay, then I'll give you another one. Because I think this was on your list. I don't know. Do you have a list? Do you guys have?
I have a list.
Okay. If on your list you have the Shaquille Penny pinstripe Magic jerseys, then I will raise you one because the Rockets did pinstripes better.
No, they did not.
They did.
That
Rocket jerseys were awesome.
Horrible.
I like it.
That Rockets logo is terrible. It's garbage.
I like it.
I'm not surprised. This doesn't shock me in any way, shape, or form. It's basically the Raptors jersey. You just swap out the Raptor for that ugly Rockets logo.
It's got a rocket. It's got glow in the dark. It's got stars and shit in universe. That jersey's awesome.
It's hideous. It's tacky as fuck.
The Bulls black jerseys are fucking fire too.
That was my other one.
Those
was my other one.
Those are really tough, man, aren't they?
Chicago Bulls
those are hard as shit. Like those are a sweet jersey.
Yep, those are sweet. So I mean, the Charlotte Hornets jerseys are also dope because they also have pinstripes. Like
that's the one I didn't. Yeah, I didn't like that one as much.
They're clean as fuck. The Bulls ones, the Magic ones, they're all just super clean with the pinstripes. I'm going a whole different direction into the 94 49ers jerseys when they won the championship. Those are classic, dope as shit because they have like the
something different than I feel like they haven't changed their jersey in 50 years.
This is the only one where there's an actual variant because they have the actual black bar shading around the numbers. They also have the black bars around the things. And then they went after they won the championship, they went back to the super basic ones. I'm like, why didn't you keep these?
You're right.
Fucking
the shadow drop works. That's a nice improvement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's one of mine.
My son is here.
All the pinstripes.
My son loves those Raptors jerseys. Like that is his shit. He wants one so bad. He's really into that Raptors jersey.
So that is Jack. I was like, I saw Jack earlier. I was like, is that?
Yeah, I don't know why he's watching our show.
Justice for Jack. What's up, Jack?
Yeah, it's Justice for Jack. Here he is.
But yeah, man, But yeah, those Bulls jerseys, the Suns jerseys, those are
Suns
fresh.
jerseys. I'm glad we could come to agreement on that. Jack, I need a ruling. Tell me what you think of the 90s Jazz jerseys. I can't believe you guys don't like them. Those things are fire, man.
Those are
It's so Utah. It looks great.
It is. That's part of the problem.
Oh, come on. See, I figured you talk about all the time about loving originality and having its own vibe. And like, that is the vibe. Like, it is a whole
I just don't like them, though. I don't like them.
That's
it looks
crushing.
like it just belongs on a beer can. It belongs on a beer can. It's
That gives me 8 out of 10 for the Jazz.
Jersey.
8 out of 10 for the Jazz.
I wish they would have changed their name too. Y'all don't deserve to be the Jazz. That should have stayed in New Orleans. It's nonsense.
I mean, better than fucking Pelicans.
I agree, 1000%.
It's a terrible name, but the Jazz have earned that. I mean, they have a strong fan base. They've been there for that team for like 40 years. You know, like they earned to keep that name.
I wonder why'd they move. I don't know the story behind that.
Probably got sold to somebody for something.
Doesn't matter. You know what jerseys suck? The Celtics. They're just so fucking boring.
The Cavs. The Cavs 90s jerseys are my least favorite.
Yeah, they're pretty ugly.
I love my team, and I love most of the jerseys we've had, and the Cavs 90s jerseys were terrible.
The Cavs 90s jersey are horrible. The Pistons jerseys in the 90s were awful.
So I hate the Pistons, and will never say many good things about them. I think those 90s Pistons jerseys are pretty fucking awesome.
You like the Hawks jerseys from the 90s too, with the fucking giant bird on it?
So, okay, I think what we're running up to is like a fundamental difference. I appreciate the 90s cartoonish look in the NBA because it felt very original, unlike so many other sports clubs. And not just clubs, leagues. Like the NFL in the 90s was basically the same thing as NFL in the 80s and 70s. Everybody had a very classic look. Nobody ventured far. That NBA flash that you see players, the shoes, the style, the clothes, the 90s jerseys was that. It was like the starter jacket. It was. It was them being original and being different and being leaders, and it was awesome.
Different type of flash altogether. Like
but it's better than just shenanigans. A classic clean. I appreciate a classic clean logo and club look. Don't get me wrong. I do. I really like that. But there is something to be said that like in the 90s, this is what the league was doing to stand out. And I do appreciate that. At the time, I think it was really cool. Pinstripes were part of that. Pinstripes was a huge part of that.
The pinstripes were fresh. All these ugly logos, though.
I love the colors and the brightness. That piston, man, with the fire and shit. That shit was cool.
Get that shit out of here.
The Pacers jerseys were pretty hot, and I hated them too.
Yeah, those were nice.
It's pretty good, man.
Those were nice.
But I can't believe you don't like the Raptors, you don't like the Rockets, you don't like the Pistons. So you just really don't like that motif.
I don't like that big goofy ass logo.
I got you.
Like,
okay.
I don't like that. Like, get that shit out of here. Ugh.
I think it's cool to have some fun every now and again. I would argue that today's jerseys all look too similar. Everybody looks too clean and nice all the time.
I appreciate that clean sexiness there. I like when they have like their NBA City Edition jerseys because it plays with the colors and does a little something different. Those are the ones that I really like.
I would love an NBA jersey like 90s throwback night. That'd be fucking rad.
I like when they go even further back, like the Buffalo Braves.
Oh yeah, true. No, I'm down. I like all the retro stuff, but I would love like a 90s week where all the teams sport their 90s stuff. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I want somebody to be the Roswell Ray Guns for a week just because I really like those jerseys. Those were super dope.
Top jersey from the 90s, though, it got ruined in the Discord, but I was totally prepared to come tell you the Mighty Ducks. That jersey was the shit in the 90s. First of
all, those aren't jerseys. Those are sweaters. All right.
Oh, fair.
Fucking Canadians. Those are sweaters. They're not jerseys.
Correct. Accurate.
But yeah, the Mighty Ducks, hands down. That one is that one's great. I'm not even gonna front. See, that's where I can appreciate a big goofy logo is on a hockey sweater. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Giant Black Hawk, the big B for the Boston Bruins, the Mighty Ducks logo. I can appreciate.
I don't have
goofy jerseys
anything from Major League Baseball or football that comes to mind.
It's because they're so boring.
A lot of the NFL stuff that we were doing, I think, were just holdovers from the 80s, but I do appreciate those designs. Like, I love the old Patriots jerseys, the red ones with the white helmets with the linemen on it, not the thing. That was cool. I love the Eagles' old look.
Me
with
too.
the silver and the green.
The silver, yeah.
I love the Browns' old look. I do. I think the Browns had a very classic look.
Has the Browns jerseys ever changed? I feel like it's always just been the same thing.
They just recently went back to it, but you remember a few years ago they drastically changed all of it and it looked terrible.
I don't even remember. The Browns don't come on television, so who knows?
Right. The Cowboys, though, they did change. Like that 90s Cowboys look is pretty iconic. And iconic both because they were successful, both because of Dion, but also that look. They've essentially kept that look ever since. So like once they got there, they were like, this is the look. And they are kind of right. Like that is the look. It's kind of hard to go away with. They kind of nailed it. Like that's it. You guys did
Take me back to those bright orange Tampa Bay Buccaneers jerseys.
Oh, you want the creamsicles
with
back?
The Corsair? Yeah, with the Corsair on the side. Let's go.
Aren't they wearing those this year?
I have no idea.
I thought I read somewhere they're bringing them back. I think they're bringing them back out this year because they're going to be terrible. They're going to be bad. Exactly. That's what all bad teams do. This is Browns 101. Is we're going to be bad? What are we going to do? Let's change the logo. Let's get a different stripe out there. Let's put something on the field. Yeah. Do you see the Lions? They're doing a new helmet.
Finally, yeah. God.
It looks fucking rad. It's like a Ford-inspired thing. I thought it looked cool. I was like, that's neat.
Finally, because their jerseys also just suck.
Yeah.
Can we just have a week or two where the Texans can be the Oilers, please?
Dude, the Oilers look is so much better than the Texans. The Texans look like we have Patriots at home. Like that shit is so basic. I'm like, can I get out of here with this nonsense?
Yeah. The Oilers
and to be in the state with the Cowboys and try to do that shit. Like of all places, the Oilers look was clean as
it was dope.
Fuck.
Those
Great colors, great look, great design.
Yeah.
Kyle says he misses the old Rams color. See, I differ. I think the Rams peaked in
the new Rams
2000. The gold? When they hit that gold and they had fucking shit, I was like, dude, the Rams are it. And then they went away from it. I don't like the yellow as much as the gold, but I do like the blue and white though. The white is nice.
The blue and white is fresh. Blue and white is fresh.
The Chargers, by the way, those old powder blues. Dude.
Anytime you can get powder blue on a jersey, you're winning.
That's true.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. All right. I think we had a good amount of fun with that one.
I love talking jerseys.
Moving
not just jerseys, looks. I love talking aesthetics.
Yeah. Except for when it comes to soccer or something. We don't care about that.
The 70s Cavs.
You see, we didn't have any
orange Cavs with the cream with the V in the bucket.
Yes. That is peak Cavs jersey.
It is. It is my favorite look. Like I love it. I'm like, just that's the jersey. Quit fucking around. Like just that's it. Leave it alone. We've been red, wine, gold, black, white, blue,
red and
yellow.
Wine?
Like
why did y'all do that? Like
they change it every 3 years. We have a brand new scheme. I'm like, just go back to the orange. Just do that. You nailed it.
I would imagine that if you look at like jersey sales, that orange one is probably the one that sells the most. That's clearly the one you should go with.
The black ones that they won the championship in are super popular. Also, if you remember towards the tail end of that LeBron one, they did like a classic to the 60s, like the yellow one with the red and white checker, like the Austin Carr kind of look.
Yeah.
Those are real popular too. People love those.
Get that out of here.
But the gold, or the orange and white, that's it.
Yeah. And those Miami Knights, the Miami Night.
Oh yeah, the neon, the Vice Cities. Oh yes, those gosh, really cool. Those are amazing. If I ran the Heat, that'd be the only thing we'd ever wear.
Absolutely. And they got them in 3 different. They got them in black, they got them in white, and they have them in that like the ombre where the color shifts.
So good.
That's the only jersey you ever need. Those are incredible.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Miami, dude, whatever the Marlins are doing, get that shit out of here and go back to the old Marlin jerseys. Have you seen the Marlins in like the last half decade? This terrible.
This is baseball. We don't do that here.
Yeah, but the old Marlins, and I didn't like them because they sent my Indians home and all that, but the old Marlins had like a look and it was respectful and they were good. And the new Marlins just look like a bunch of colors slapped on a minor league team.
Well,
not very good.
They play like a minor league team.
Right?
Yeah, I like the Seattle
you want
Mariners.
Like the Gary Sheffields, right? You need those back. Roll those back out there, man.
Yeah, those were great.
Yeah,
those were cool.
I remember those. I remember that era.
Thank you, Kyle's got it.
And Kyle the Post correct. Florida Marlins greater than Miami Marlins.
Wait, they're the Miami Marlins now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
and like they're trying to do
terrible.
like the Heat thing. They have like this neon inspired pink and teal, and it doesn't work as well. It just doesn't work as well.
They're trying to base it around Miami culture and Cuban culture, and it's not working.
It's a huge miss. Like just set it back.
The Florida Marlins, not the Miami Marlins. Stop it. Yeah. I do like the cleanness of the Seattle Mariners jerseys in the 90s with Ken Griffey. Like there's just something there.
Yeah. I think you just like Griffey. I don't think it has anything to do with
the jerseys. I also like the color. I like the teal.
Just Griffey.
Like that black guy.
No, you know what? 90s
teal color.
90s MLB jerseys, 100% the Diamondbacks. The Arizona jerseys, their kit used to be fucking awesome, and they ruined it. I don't know what they did, but the new Diamondbacks are terrible, but the old Diamondbacks were the shit.
They were a team in the 90s?
Mm-hmm. Dude, Randy Johnson?
Yeah.
Kurt Schilling? Well, come on, man.
Again,
I remember these teams
about baseball
because of the steroids. Once steroids left, so did I.
I mean, it's the truth.
They said
steroids was the best thing that happened to baseball.
Once they said no steroids, I said, I guess I'm out of this shit. Like, I'm not watching this anymore.
Look, we're going to make it where people hit base hits again. Like, Delvin was like, nope.
Nope.
You're not hitting homers. What's the point? What's the point? Why are we here? Why are we here?
It was a special time that summer of baseball, right?
It was. Yes, it was. It was amazing.
Those Diamondback journeys were awesome.
Yeah, the Braves jerseys in the 90s were very popular.
They're like the same now, right?
Yeah, they were.
They haven't really changed a whole lot.
I don't think they changed them. Yeah,
they haven't. It was a black thing. Like you wore a Braves jersey. I don't know why.
Dion.
It's just a thing. No, it wasn't because of Dion.
So
he wasn't even the best player.
Okay, the thing about the Braves,
he was in Atlanta, so he played on both Atlanta teams.
Yeah, the thing about the Braves though,
it was David. What's his name?
Justice.
Yes,
Justice.
He also played for the Indians.
I remember that because he's right to Holly Berry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the thing about the Braves that I don't think has anything to do with what you're saying, but I don't think people realize this is the Braves became kind of like the national team of baseball if you weren't a Yankees fan, not just because of North-South thing, but because of Turner. Turner Broadcasting had the rights to the Braves.
Yep.
So they put it everywhere. So places that didn't get baseball watch the Braves. So like in Hawaii, there's Braves fans. Nebraska, there's Braves fans. In Iowa, there's Braves fans. In Alabama, they're Braves. Like everybody's a Brave fan unless you have a local team. Like Indiana has Braves fans. Montana's Braves fans because they were just everywhere. So they have like a real kind of like an iconic look that I don't think they'll ever really mess with a whole lot because they have a much bigger following than people realize. They're not really like the Atlanta Braves. They're kind of like the non-East-West sports. Like they're not the non-coastal baseball team Braves. Like if you're not in Chicago or Cleveland, you're probably a Braves fan.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
St. Louis, right?
Turner
not one of those. Yeah.
All right, let's shift gears.
Chipper Jones.
TPR. Question mainly for you. Mainly for you, Donnie. He says, eat the hype. You have a perfectly capable PC that's been your primary platform for a while, but you still have your Series X around. What do you like saving it for?
Who knows? Good question, TV. No, seriously, I do use it. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I do. For a couple different reasons. I mean, first and foremost, it is a great entertainment center box, right? I watch all my 4K movies on it. I watch all my horror movies on it. We do all my streaming on it.
You're doing what they wanted you to do with it when they announced the original Xbox, whatever the fuck it was, with the VCR.
There are a lot of Game Pass games that come to Xbox first that aren't necessarily available to PC. There's also a lot of games that I think just run a lot better on console. And just like I've said with the Ally, there are sometimes, man, I just want to go sit in my chair and kick back and relax, and I don't necessarily want to sit here. So it's really, I look at it more as like my TV PC and less of it like like a console, like a rival platform, a lot of times I'm playing a lot of the same things. So you may not hear me say it because I started playing Grand Theft Auto over here, and then I started playing Grand Theft Auto there. Or most notably, a lot of people probably remember, I played Valhalla across how many different platforms. And a lot of it was, I'm playing Valhalla on Xbox. Now I'm playing Valhalla on PC. And I went back to play it on Xbox and came back to play on PC. I specifically think Forza runs a lot better on console than it does on PC. I just think it's way more optimized for the console. When I played it on PC, and there are times where it actually has really good PC options. You can really dial it in. Forza on the Ally is actually pretty incredible, the frame rates you can hit on it. That said, the load times, the streaming, the visual fidelity, everything is juiced for the Xbox, as you would expect it to be. So I particularly prefer to play there. But going forward, just like everything, there'll be that will be less and less, as it has been since launch. Right? I bought it. I played a lot of things on the Xbox until the Xbox stopped giving me what I wanted from it. And then I started shifting to PC, and I don't expect that shift will change. I expect I'll keep playing more on PC.
That eGPU, that Xbox.
It's really about convenience. It's really about convenience. If I want to kick back in the big recliner and throw something on and play there, then I will. But if not, I'll play on the PC. Less like important about the platform though is I themed my Xbox. I have a custom Fabled controller and a matching Fabled like decal for the actual console. So I look like I have like a special edition Fable Xbox. That's a big reason too. I've always wanted a special edition Fable Xbox. I never got one.
That's cool.
If they
announce,
I'll replace it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I got to. I have to at that point. I love Fable so much. If they announce a Fable Series X, I gotta have it.
That trailer was so fucking funny.
Oh, it was great. It was absolutely great.
It was so funny.
Speaking of my cubes, I didn't say this earlier. Can I take a minute?
Yeah, man.
Because we didn't talk about this. Years ago, many years ago, gosh, so many years ago, Psvg encountered a video game developer that made a video game for the Wii U called Swapfire.
Shoot Donnie in the face?
Shoot Donnie in the face. And we created a Twitter campaign because he wanted to make Swapfire 2. Now, I digged Swapfire. It was a free game on Wii U. And it had this mechanic to where you would shoot each other. And if you hit the other person, you would instantly like swap places. So like you could jump off the side of a ledge, shoot somebody, and then send them careening off to their death. It was pretty cool. Had a little single player and stuff like that. Like I saw the vision. This wasn't like some terrible indie game that never came out. And like this was a legit game and it was fun to play. We interviewed him. He said he wanted to make a second one. He wanted to get a Switch dev kit and all that. And we got behind him. We helped him fund his thing. We promoted it. We did hashtag shoot Donnie in the face. We did a whole little campaign where I was like, hey, if you hate my opinion on your video game, like come support this and shoot me in the face, because they were literally going to put me in the game. And you could shoot me in the face. This person then took everybody's money and basically did nothing for years. And it was a huge thorn in my side. I think I was personally a thorn in this person's side for a long time. And years. And this is like 7 years ago. It's been a long time. Because I paid for the higher tier access to be made as a character in the video game, which I didn't care so much about that. I just cared that this person, like, we funded it, we got the deal done, and he just basically ghosted everybody. Not only did he not deliver on anything, he didn't tell us anything. Like, we didn't get any updates or anything like that. He tried to come back a few years later and he was like, we spent all your money on to make a comic book. I was super pissed about that because I was like, one, why would you care about that? Like, why would that be like, he did that without asking. Like, he didn't say like, hey, this isn't working, so we're going to spend all the money on a comic book. It felt like an excuse to take everybody's money. That's how I interpreted it. I don't know if that's how everybody else took it. So I don't remember. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. He popped up, the creator, trying to like peddle like a cloud streaming service. And I'm not going to lie, I went scorched earth on this. I let the streaming service know what happened. I posted everywhere that he was. I was like, dude, I'm never going to let this go. Like, I'm never just going to let this go that you just took everybody's money. I'm not just going to let you just like start asking other people for money or, trying to find other projects. Like, no, that's absolutely never going to happen. So I went scorched earth with the guy, was pretty upset. Again, just because that he ghosted us. And he went quiet again until this past weekend. Out of the blue, years after I thought this project was done and gone, we all lost our money, he resurrected it. He made a post with little character art saying, hey, we've made a decision to do something else. And he said in that decision, if you don't like the direction that we're going, I'll refund you your money. Now, a lot of people gave this man 10, 20 bucks, right? If you're out, you're out. It's not too big. I gave this person hundreds of dollars. I instantly replied back asking, how do I get a refund? I was like, I would like a refund. And he told me what he was doing. And I'm not going to say it because I think he wants to announce it. And it's not for me to say that. But he told me what he's doing. And I told him, look, I appreciate that you want to do something to make good on this promise. I was like, I'm not going to lie to you. It's been 7 years. You didn't talk to us for like 4 years. I don't necessarily trust you. And I was like, I'm just going to shoot you straight. The best thing you can do to make me content about this experience is to give me my money back. Please give me my money back. And he did. And wow. I wanted to bring that up because I think I'm not the only person that's ever bought into a Kickstarter and not got anything, right? That's been a thing. And most people, I don't think, ever get their money back. I definitely learned my lesson. I have never backed a Kickstarter since. I don't think I would, even if it's something I really loved, because of this experience. And I felt like it was worth shouting out since people heard about it. Maybe you backed it or heard about it. That did happen. And he did give me my money back. And he tried not to. He told me his plans and he was like, I'd love for you to still be there. And I was just like, please just give my money back.
Nah, Doc, I'm out.
But he did give me my money back. So I had this Father's Day surprise where I had a few $100s I wasn't expecting. So I took half of it and I bought myself something nice. I got myself the Cyberpunk Special Edition, which I put into the shelf.
That's dope.
And I got a controller and I got the statue and a really big box. And I was like, this is freaking awesome. Because I'm very, very excited for Liberty City and the Phantom City and all the stuff that's coming on the DLC updates. I think I'm going to replay the whole game. I'm just going to start a new character and kick it over. I can't wait to play it again. But it's also a cool little Kickstarter story. So I actually am kind of excited to see if he does the thing that he told me he wants to get done. At this point, I can't believe that he will, but I think he will, because I think his new thing is kind of attainable. There's a lot more to the story that I just kind of glossed over. For a couple years, for like a year and a half, he kept saying that he wanted a dev kit for Switch, but he couldn't get one, which I don't believe, because everybody and their mother has a dev Switch kit. There's so much shit being posted to Switch every day. But even if that was true at the time, I was like, okay, well, just make it for PC. And he was just like resistant to do that, which I found bizarre. Like, what developer out there is like, nah, I'm not going to make a PC game.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you don't get a Switch kit. Okay, big deal. Let's do it on PC and we'll do it there. And then you can bring it to Switch another day. And he just hated that idea. And then years later, he came back and he's like, but here's a comic book. The fuck? Right? It's so much shady shit.
So
I was like, please give me my money back.
I want to give you my money.
And I got it back. I was very happy about that.
Nice.
It's a nice story.
Excellent.
Dope.
There's still people waiting on Jules and Hatch Tales, if you guys don't know. I know you're not that into Switch, but around the same time, he sold Bobby and all of the Make Us Better and Capri Land people in the Hatch Tales game, and that shit still hasn't come out, and I don't think he's given them an update either.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Is a scammer.
So I actually think, Jules makes a lot of games. I think he'll do something, but I don't know why it hasn't come out. I mean, that's a bizarre story.
Is a long time.
It is. It's a long time.
I wonder if, Cyberpunk could have been good if they actually took 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
Initially.
Well, we didn't make the game, but here's a comic book.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? God. That's exactly what he did. He was like, sorry, guys, but we made this comic book. Thanks for the money.
Where's my money?
Here's the comic book. Oh, and then he messaged, he's like, but did you ever get I never even got the comic book. He's like, did you get the comic book? He's like, no, I didn't get the comic book. I got nothing. Did I get the comic book?
Me my money.
Comic book.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck, we're doing a comic book. Pay all this goddamn money. Here's a comic book. Get that.
So if you saw me earlier today, the reason I said the story is if you saw me earlier today and I was like, thank you, Swapfire, and I showed you a picture of my box. That's where that's what that means. The years long thing that's coming there. So I took half the money and I put it towards my recent car payments. And then I took the other half and I bought myself something nice for Father's Day.
Dope.
Very nice. Very nice. Moving on. Free to Play Joe says, after delays from Halo, Starfield, Redfall, etc., why is everyone excited for Avowed and Hellblade? Won't they just get delayed too?
Dude, can't we just be excited for a fucking week before we start doing this shit, man? Come on, man.
Nah.
Hellblade's already been delayed. Like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Hellblade's already been delayed.
It doesn't have a date. It has a window, maybe. Like, there's no date.
Year,
it has 2024.
Yeah.
So I don't think they get.
Yeah.
At this point, there's nothing to delay. When they announce it,
right,
the actual date, then we can talk about it getting delayed. But no, it just has a year.
Yeah. Joe, it's fair criticism. You might even be true. I don't think we can ever count a delay for anybody. I do think the difference between these two games and those games, they've been in development all this time, and it's not like launching on a console. It's not COVID. It's not any of that. I feel like we're coming out of that. I think we're seeing a lot of projects actually start to release now. So I expect that those two games will drop next year. I mean, it's time for Hellblade. I mean, Hellblade's been in development for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So not that they can't delay, they totally can, but I have faith that those two games will be there. Now, if the Clockwork game and Compulsion's game, if all of that said 2024, I maybe would be able to believe you. But we've known that Avowed and Hellblade have been in active development for many years. So I expect that they'll make it. And I also expect that Microsoft has been a little bit more stingy about announcing dates and stuff because of what happened to Starfield and Redfall and Halo. So I think
Halo.
Yeah. Now, look, I mean, you're fair to criticize them. They've earned that.
Absolutely.
So if you don't believe it, then don't believe it. But man, dude, it's E3 week. Just let me have it for a week, man. Let me have a week. Damn.
Yeah. And they gave just a year that's still 7 months away to even start that year. I think we're okay. I think we're all right.
Nah.
He just came back. He's like, nope, fake news. God damn, can't we just have a week to be happy? We don't have to live in misery. We don't have to. We can choose not to. We can be happy.
Yeah. You see, you didn't throw Fable in there. Just Hellblade and Avowed.
Well, if they didn't date Fable, I think that's why.
They didn't even give it a year?
No, there's nothing on Fable. Nobody has.
Jesus Christ.
I think Fable's coming out in 2025. I've been saying that for 2 years?
Yeah.
I've been telling everyone Fable's not as long as people think it is. And Perfect Dark's coming out after that. It's be longer than that.
Perfect Dark is never going to see the light of day. It's going to stay in the dark.
What if they buy them?
Perfect Dark.
What if they buy them though? Embracer's having a tough time. If you didn't see,
yeah, right.
I would not be surprised if at some point we get one of those postcards and Crystal Dynamics has officially joined the Microsoft team.
FTC is going to be like, whoa, hold on now.
Then Jim Ryan's out here. We can't compete.
Wait a goddamn minute, Rondale. Drew wants to know, Donnie, what was a secret game that suited teas in the
I need to ask Delvin some questions. Delvin, what's the secret Suda game?
These nuts.
The blurred picture definitely gave off a silhouette that would make you think of Travis Touchdown.
Yeah.
That said, Suda said Travis Touchdown was done with 3. Suda doesn't own Travis Touchdown. Marvelous does. Suda doesn't work for Marvelous. He works for Grasshopper. Does that mean it's not Travis? Absolutely not. It absolutely could be Travis.
Yeah.
But I think it's an original IP. I think it's going to be something new for Grasshopper. Personally. We'll see. I would love this, Travis, but I think it's going to be something different. I think it's something else.
Robert Jump Shot.
Right.
Because he's done Travis.
Like that.
The difference is that he did Travis Touchdown, he did Travis Strikes Again, and we got No More Heroes 3. So I think it's time. Time to do something else.
Some actual heroes. One.
Y'all need to play No More Heroes. Like personally, I would love for you to play.
I do play. I played the first 2.
And
I have not played through yet. I love them. They're great. Great games.
Yeah. I honestly think Dev would love them too. If you get into it and like really adopt it, they're really fun. They're really fun to play.
Yeah, they are.
I don't think so, Tim. If it has a dated control screen or just feels old, I'm just not going to be able to do it. Just
damn.
And what is it on? Is it on the Switch like you expect?
It's on PlayStation. You dumb. You can go play it right now. All of it.
Yeah, it is on PlayStation.
It's on PC. What the fuck? He's like, what is it? Just on the Switch?
Good.
No.
I'm good.
You get the collector's edition that I bought, the box and everything.
No.
The killer box.
It's not a me game. It's not a me game.
All right. It's very cool.
Our man JV says, what would it take to get you on a submarine that was controlled by a Mad Catz controller?
Not a chance in hell.
I love that the world is collectively dunking on these people that are about to die. Like, nobody gives a shit.
About to die.
They're dead.
Everybody's constant. I feel like every social meme and everything I've seen is just everybody just getting shots, just one after the other.
Yeah.
Because none of this sound like a good idea. None of it sound like a good idea.
No, it's definitely not. It was definitely not a good idea. No. I don't think any sane person's like, yeah, let's go to the bottom of the ocean. No.
Yeah.
I think the same thing. You know what? I say the same thing about people like, I love space. Space is great. Space is not great. Space is literally trying to kill everything in existence. Yes. It's trying to kill matter. Not you, not humans, matter. Like atoms. It's trying to kill the building blocks of the universe. It is a dark, depressing, cruel place. Like space sounds so much worse than like
a special suit to go there. You shouldn't be there. So deep sea,
then look at it like this.
Space? No, thank you.
And yeah, sea is just
everything
as bad.
You just said about space.
Just as bad.
Take everything you said about space. Didn't say we're going to space with a fucking Mad Catz controller. This is what we're using. Like,
the controller doesn't bother me.
The controller doesn't bother me either.
Yeah, no, that doesn't bother me as much.
That bothers me a lot.
Why?
The ship, everything about the scenario bothers me. No.
They could have picked a better controller. They could have picked a better controller.
They could have picked a way better controller.
Like at least get an Xbox controller or something. Like, come on.
Didn't they pay like $100,000 to get on?
Like, if I'm not going to play No More Heroes with that controller, you shouldn't be risking your life with that controller. At least get an Elite.
How much you said, Dev?
$250K.
$250,000. You can't even get me a fucking official Xbox controller.
Right. You should have a special edition controller. You should have a special edition Elite controller.
You should have the controller that they use for that. What was that fucking tank game they had back in the day? That had all the buttons.
The Mech Assault?
It was,
the fuck was that game
that
called? I never had the whole thing.
Was it Mech Warrior? No.
Mech Warrior?
I know what you're talking about. But you don't need that many buttons. That's overkill.
That
you just need
should be the controller. No.
You just
make me feel comfortable. Make me feel like you're doing something with the controller. Don't be showing me this shit.
Make you feel comfortable in that little tiny ass submarine.
I'm not getting that shit in the first place. I'm not getting that little yellow submarine.
The only way I'm getting in a submarine controlled by a Mad Catz controller is if it's at Disneyland and it ain't really going nowhere. That's how I'm getting it.
I'm not getting in that at all.
I'm not getting that.
I'm not going that far in the ocean. Like, I love swimming,
I'm not going
but that's
in the
ridiculous.
ocean. Again, I said
then I have to pay to die.
This is how terrible that place is. We have explored more of space than we have the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
There's creatures down there that we don't even know exist.
It's pitch black.
Exactly.
That, man.
There's no light.
Like, it would instantly crush you if not for that piece of metal surrounding you. It would instantly crush you into like just nothingness. No thanks. I'm good. Yeah. It sounds like the worst of every like black hole scenario. Right there, here on the plane. You don't have to leave to go there. It's right here. And you're like, yeah, let's go down there. Sounds fun.
Yeah. Nah, man.
I'm cool.
Nah.
That's why, there's no sympathy. I mean, there's some sympathy, but like generally on socials, there's no sympathy, man. Nobody gives a
pay a $250K to die is a little wild.
To see the Titanic, like the irony, right?
Like, we've seen the Titanic. Plenty
No,
of
no.
Damn
That's
movie. You
the
can watch
irony
that.
is the rich people that took the Titanic and sank,
right.
and then here you are doing the same shit all these years later. You haven't learned a
Yeah.
lesson at all.
Yeah. That is the perfect analogy for this country now. We just don't learn shit anymore. We just keep repeating the same shit over and over again.
Yeah. Just
Yep.
nonsense. But rest in peace, people.
Ain't
We're
no
sorry
way.
that it happened, but
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I was like, if that was me and we just knew we had fine, I would just pull the hatch. I'd rather just go than sit there and slowly. And you know what she told me? There is no hatch. She said that they're bolted in when they get in. I was like, holy shit, that's the worst idea I've ever. That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
I saw a video on that. There was
is no
even
latch.
if we find it, we can't get them out.
Oh gosh.
They're bolted in.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I don't know if this is true or not. I have not followed the story a whole lot, but I was listening to a sports podcast, which probably leans it to be not accurate. But the sports podcast said that they were watching the news, whatever, and they had an expert that was like, there's only like 4 vessels in the world that can reach them, and none of those vessels are equipped to like help them out, and none of those vessels are like within a week of getting there. I was like, oh shit, this is just all around.
You're gonna run out of it. Like there's no helping these people. It's a wrap.
Literally the worst case scenario they could possibly be involved in.
Yeah.
Everything about this sounds bad.
It does.
Everything.
There's no hope. There's no good. There's nothing. It's pretty bad.
This is what we need
to see a sunken ship. This is what you wanted.
Yeah.
That's been widely documented. We know what it looks like.
Right.
We have videos and everything. You YouTube that.
Yeah.
I see what it looks like right now.
And it's not like there's any like glass windows.
That's the part that bothers my wife the most.
So you're
She's
not
like, it's
even
not like you get to see it. Yeah, you're just looking
like,
at it through a video camera that you could already do. And you that
you
of all things,
stayed on shore.
Of all things, my wife is so upset that's.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
It is.
Because quite honestly, they could have just been like, they could have gone down 2 feet, and he could just pretend that we're going to the damn Titanic. Because how would you know?
You wouldn't know.
How would you know? Just stupid. So stupid.
Yeah.
Oh my God. JV also wants to know, who is the most handsome quarterback?
Good question. All right, this is where I shine.
This is your moment. Your time is now.
This is the moment. Let's get the good looking quarterback. Let's see. You know what? Russell Wilson's a good looking man. Good looking guy.
Okay.
No,
he definitely is.
That is not what comes to mind.
The answer is Joe Burrow.
Maybe.
Let me go with Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. You got the swag.
Who was the 49ers quarterback?
No, I don't like him.
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G.
Nah. Jimmy G's good. Joe Burrow, I'm not a fan of. He looks a little whatever face.
Joe Burrow got the swag. He got the iced out chain. Joe Burrow.
Nah.
I can't tell you what any other quarterbacks look like at this point. They wear fucking helmets. I don't know what they look like.
Fitz magic, baby. The beard and shit.
The answer is Tom Brady. That is the answer.
He is not an NFL quarterback.
It's true.
Oh,
damn, you got beat at your own
He's
game.
also just he's strange looking to me. So
he is the NFL quarterback.
I don't think if we're talking about like just if we're talking about just like the
did
traditional sense
NFL
of beauty, right? You're talking symmetry and stuff. I don't think Tom Brady's it.
Tom Brady.
Also, he didn't necessarily say that current NFL quarterback. He said who is the most handsome quarterback.
Yeah, because I would think if I think just looks general, I would think like again Jimmy G, Brady Quinn.
Brady Quinn's a good choice.
Yeah, dude just had,
Yeah, nah. Sorry, I need style points also.
Cam Newton.
That's also
Cam Newton's a good one.
Cam Newton dresses like he's. I can't get with Cam. He looks crazy.
You
Matt Ryan.
gotta open up your horizons, damn. You gotta pick some
Matt
quarterbacks,
Ryan?
man. You gotta pick some handsome men.
That
Ryan,
Ryan's
Matty
got like
Ice.
that classic.
Matty Ice. Yeah,
Yeah.
Matty Ice. Yeah.
Yep. Where's Rebecca when you need her?
Having fun?
She'd be like, what
Probably.
quarterback? You know,
All right.
they don't date Taylor Swift. They don't matter. They're not real.
Yes.
Yeah, I got nothing else. I don't fucking know.
Cam has great
I got
teeth.
nothing. Huh?
He does.
Cam, great teeth.
What in the world?
It matters.
He does
I just
matter.
have never
Dude, has
looked
that
at his
big
teeth.
smile, man.
You don't have any
Photogenic.
good taste in
It's like
men,
$1 million bucks.
I
That's all it is.
I don't know what they look like.
Vic?
I'm not looking at them.
Vic,
Michael Vick. That's a good
Michael
choice
Vick.
there.
That's a
Good
good looking
choice.
man.
dude,
Good looking
Hotlanta.
man.
Vic tore it up.
God, he was amazing.
He did.
If only he had
He did.
receivers that could catch, because that man threw the ball really, really hard.
Yeah, he had some.
He had Crumpler. That was like it. That was the only one
Yeah.
who could like consistently catch balls thrown. To him.
Dude's name was Algie.
Yes. His parents hated him. Who
That
names their
poor
kid
kid.
Algie?
It's so good. He was
Algie-
really good at
Algie
football, right?
Crumpler. Like
Right? Isn't it really good as he's good at football? Because if he wasn't, it's a
Yeah.
rough go, man.
I mean, he probably played football because he was tired of people making fun of his name. He just wanted to
That's
hit
true.
people.
It's like, fuck these guys. What a question, JV. Thanks.
Great
Yeah.
question.
Wait, I wanted to talk sports tonight. What do you guys think about Beal?
I think that it's not gonna matter.
Nah.
I feel like the Suns have no identity. They're just gonna be a bunch of good basketball players that don't quite get it done.
They're not done yet.
They're not done yet, but I still don't think it's gonna make a difference.
Okay, let me ask you this, though. I got a couple things I want to say to that. Just because you don't win it all doesn't mean it doesn't matter. So they just not try? Everybody else just not try?
Oh no, I think they should try. I just think what they're
Okay.
trying isn't good enough. It's not gonna work.
So I'm intrigued on two fronts. One, I legitimately think like what they're trying to do, I think maybe more than anybody else, barring other moves, are maybe the most competition for the Denver Nuggets. Because unlike the other teams, I think this team can actually just go score. Send in Discord. Like this team can just get points. And I think
Yeah.
that's the way you beat the Nuggets. And that was my thing with the Heat. I told Delvin that. I just didn't think the
fine.
Heat could keep up, personally, period. Because the
Yeah.
Nuggets can still play defense. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it reminds me a lot of like Golden State versus Cleveland. Golden State, hands down, the better team. But Cleveland had dudes that could just go get buckets and they could just hang around. Like, it didn't matter how good the defense was. They could just score. And I look at the Suns and I'm like, yeah, they look a lot like that. Maybe not a better team, maybe not a good team, but dudes can just get buckets.
Yeah, I got to see how all the
Sometimes that's all that
personalities
matters.
mesh. Like, are they actually going to all be able to play together? Or is there going to be any kind of
You're not ready for point book?
I want Booker to step the fuck up and
He's going to be the
team
point
leader.
guard. Like, it's his time.
That's fine.
They
I
don't
want him
have
to
another guard.
actually
Like, he's it.
be a leader.
He's
be
the
a
point
leader.
guard.
Own the team. Put KD in his place. All right. Tell KD to get his shit together. All right.
The other thing that I'm interested in is under the new CBA, this shit is toast.
Yeah.
Like, but here's the thing. I admire that the owner wants to do this. Because this is really like their only option. They had the mid-level. They could have got a mid-level guy. And I think to what you just said, Dev, that guy's not changing their outcome at all.
Mm-mm.
You get any mid-level player, it's not changing anything. So they could be bad with a mid-level guy, or they could be bad with Beal. And the only difference is Beal's going to cost a shit ton more money to be just as bad with. So I
Mhm.
think, like, I applaud the owner. He's like, fuck it, I'll just spend the money. And it's not going to matter this year, but it is going to matter next year and years going forward. Because once those new rules kick in, they're not going to be able to combine players to make trades. They're not going to be able to sign exception guys. Like, they're going to be hampered a ton. They're only going to be able to trade, I think, one player for one player. That's another one of those rules. You can't combine deals. So you can't
So
take
weird.
2 or 3 players to make one. You can literally only trade one player for one player. So they really locked in. Like, this is it. And I think what they're going to do is there other guys that are free agents. I think they're going to re-sign them all at varying deals just to have trade options. So like there's going to be guys that are probably only worth minimums that are going to get like $6 million or $8 million or $12 million just so they have chips at different levels. It's if you don't care about money, like if you don't care about money, this is why they're like, fuck it. Like the league just put in all these rules to stop this from happening. And the new Suns owner was like, hold my beer. So in that regard, I want to see where this goes. This could go terribly. It could be like the Nets. This could go awful. It could go real bad.
I feel like any team KD is going to go to at this point.
If Durant gets hurt, it all falls apart. It all falls apart real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no faith in this Suns team. Denver's winning it again.
But if they are healthy, they're no team that touched Denver this year. Nope. And I think people keep forgetting. I brought this up in Discord. Remind everybody. Phoenix got 2.
They did.
Without Chris Paul. I think people are dismissing them a lot. It's like, dude, they got 2. Who else got 2?
No, the Clippers get 2? Somebody else got 2. Somebody else got 2.
The Clippers might have, because I do remember they had that one game where Paul George just went off.
Yeah, somebody else got 2 because they beat 2 teams.
Paul George.
But
the goat Paul George.
I don't know what the fuck that kid's thinking. What a terrible thing to say. Yeah, and the Suns were competitive in other games too. Like that was a series. The Suns Nugs was a series. You know, it wasn't like the other. Like the Lakers and the Heat weren't a series. The Nuggets were winning those series. The Suns was an actual series. For a minute there, nobody knew who was going to win. People were picking the Suns, and the KD just showed up. Like that team literally just showed up and rolled the ball out. They hadn't been playing together, you know. So I think there's a little bit more there than I think pundits are giving them credit for.
I ain't giving them credit for shit. Fuck them.
Dev's hate for KD is so deep.
It's so deep. I cannot stand that dude.
It's like me in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I can't stand it. Big 7-foot bastard.
You hate Wembanyama too?
1000%. Get your big ass in the post and get out of my area.
Dude, Wemby's not doing any of that. She's gonna be sitting out there just draining threes.
Wemby is gonna get hurt. He's gonna break a foot, and it's gonna be the end of his career because people that tall always have foot problems.
Do you see his press conference?
I did not.
They asked him what's he gonna do to bulk up, and he was like, "Why should I have to bulk up? Why don't they make those people skinnier?"
That's a great answer.
That's what he said.
Oh,
he said, "Why don't you ask them to get skinnier?" It'll be interesting because I think on offense, if Wemby figures it out, cheat code doesn't matter. Nobody can touch it. Like if he figures it out, that's game. But on defense, if he doesn't add weight, you can guard Wemby with smaller players, and I think that'll be a deterrence. So we'll see where he goes. I don't want him to bulk up. I think his unicorn nature is his strength. But maybe you need another big that can, patrol the paint instead of him.
I mean, he's not a big. Let's just be real. That's not his position. So.
I'm with you. I would play him more like a Kevin Love. I'm
playing him like a Durant. Like that's
Jameson.
Get your ass out of the.
Oh well, Durant handles the ball more. Wemby can.
He can handle.
Wemby can handle it, but I wouldn't have him handle the ball like Kevin Durant.
I'm not worried about getting him the ball in the post. I'm getting you the ball in the wing.
No, I'm running him off action. I want him coming off of screens. I want him moving. I want the other big trying to chase him. I don't want him on. He's not initiating offense. I don't want him initiating offense.
Nah, until he proves to me he can be on the post, I'm not even putting a big on.
I want him cutting. Just pick up a screen and cut and let anybody try to stop 7'5" you from doing anything.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find the people who are just gonna get fouls, and we're gonna beat the shit out of Wemby. That's what we're gonna do. We're going 90s old school. We are going to beat the mess out of him and take off.
And then the hard part is then if he starts floating, like that's where his 3 comes in. If he has his 3, then it doesn't matter. He just sits out there and just starts raining shit. There's nobody that can even get a hand in his face. That is a cheat code. If he starts actually shooting 3s at 35% a clip, that's a cheat code.
We're not putting a hand in his face. We're putting an elbow in his stomach. All right.
Yeah, be able to do that if he's out on the 3 line.
Yeah, I'm taking the foul. He's just getting
All
hit.
right, well, he's getting foul shots all damn night. You're still giving him
That's
3
fine.
easy foul shots.
We are going to beat
He can hit free
the
throws. He's not
shit
Shaq.
out of him. Again, this is not even about stopping him. It's
You're just
about
trying to
just
be
hurting
tough.
him. I'm just hurting him.
Just
That's all
hurting
I'm
him.
doing.
hurt him.
He's literally just, we're just
I
gonna
am going
Nancy Kerrigan
old
this
Old
fucker.
school. Just
His
old
solution
school
is to
NBA.
hurt him.
You are going to get
I don't
hurt.
think that's how basketball works.
No, it's not.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And then you know what
Again.
the Spurs do? The Spurs sign a big ass center to hurt all your players too. They just sign an enforcer. Okay, we can do that too.
That's fine. We're
You
taking
know?
it old school. We're going back to when we used to hurt people. All right.
I can't wait to see him play.
Just fighting.
I really can't. I'm very excited to see the Spurs. I hope they can pull it back together. I hope they sign some players. They have a shit ton of cap space.
Yeah, I have no desire to see him play. I don't care.
The draft would be interesting. There's rumors everywhere. Like it is off the chain, the NBA right now, with teams that want to do different stuff. I hope that if I were the Pelicans, I'd move Zion. I'd get him out.
Apparently, Zion's moving himself.
I'd get him
I'm
out
no
of there
longer
as
talking
soon
to
as
you.
possible. This dude never plays, is a huge headache, is owed tons of. I would move him in a heartbeat. If I can get that number 3 pick, good riddance.
We're gonna trade you for some bubble gum and a.
He's a great
pack of
player.
Skittles.
When he plays, he's a great player, dominant. Just not enough.
Yeah.
Maybe he figures it out somewhere else, but it's just not enough. And I think, unfortunately, I think like the Pelicans are wasting really good years with Ingram and co. waiting on
Yes.
this. And if I could swap him
Yes.
out for another really good player, and I would, and more, if I could get Simons and 3 and get Scoot, yeah, I'm doing that. Ingram and Simons and Scoot and co. That's good. It's a good team.
Yeah, Zion needs to go.
It's just a headache. At what point? I know the NBA just does this. Talent always rules out, but at some point, the headache just isn't worth it anymore. Like as good as Kyrie is, dude, he's not for every team. You know, it's like, dude, just go on. And I feel like Zion's like approaching that kind of level. It's like, dude, okay, you're really good at basketball, but like, I'm tired of answering to the press for your antics every fucking year. You know, like we need you to show up. We got season ticket holders want to see you play basketball.
We need to find a team that wants to take Ben Simmons, Zion, and Kyrie and just
Put them on one team.
on one team.
That team just has like a bunch of like did not compete losses because they just didn't field a club. Just nobody showed up that night in Milwaukee.
Why we gotta do Milwaukee like that? Damn.
Because that's the city that everybody that's the rest city. Nobody plays in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
If there's a back-to-back and one of them's in Milwaukee, nobody's playing. LeBron's sitting that game. He ain't playing in Wisconsin. Be lucky if he shows up. Be lucky if he's in the arena.
So is that how the Bucks got to the finals? Is nobody wanted to show up and play them, so
It's
they
a
just
part of
kept
it.
winning games?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Speaking of basketball, Kyle the Puck says, piggybacking off my own question from last week, who are your top 3 NBA players of the 2000s?
NBA players.
Shaq.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Shaq and Kobe.
I'm gonna go Shaq, Kobe, of course. And you know what? I'm gonna go Allen Iverson.
Iverson. I was thinking the same thing. Trying to think.
Steve Nash.
I'll move out. Since you said Shaq, I'll say Duncan.
Okay, that's a good one.
1A,
That's a solid
1B. Yeah.
Ugh,
No difference. 1A,
Gross.
1B.
gross.
Duncan's incredible. I know it's not flashy,
He is.
but he is incredible. He's a fucking
But
an
is
amazing
he one of your
basketball player.
favorites? Is this your top players? Nah. I look at
Yeah,
this.
he's
as
a
totally
top, so
different
I didn't
thing.
think favorite. I thought top.
I always do
thought
favorites. I don't give a
top.
fuck about the tops. All right, fuck all that. That's boring.
Okay.
Who are your favorite players in the 2000s? I don't care about the top. We all know who the top is. Who are your favorites? That's the more interesting question.
This don't really much change for me. Those 3. LeBron. No, not LeBron. LeBron ain't on that.
Nash,
Shaq, Kobe,
Nash is mine.
Nash go.
That's one of mine.
Iverson.
Delonte West.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Ooh, who else?
For me,
Andy?
Jason Williams. I love
Andy
Jason
Varejao?
Williams.
Jason
Wow,
Williams,
Sideshow
good one.
Bob.
Jason
Love
Kidd, I
it.
liked a lot.
Kid, I'd say I was thinking Kid. But I was also thinking Richard Jefferson. Maybe Richard
Richard Jefferson,
Jefferson
really
more than
solid one.
Andy.
RJ.
Grant Hill.
Tracy
That was a good
McGrady.
one.
Oh, McGrady's such a good
McGrady.
pick. Yao? I loved watching Yao
Vince-
I
play.
didn't really like Yao. I don't like big dudes.
Vince Carter.
BC
Insanity.
for sure.
Dude, killer. Dude was a killer.
Chris Webber.
C-Web.
AK-47 until he got dunked on by Baron Davis.
Dude, I love Karolinko.
AK-47 was so good.
He was so
And then
good.
His wife did some things, and he got dunked on by Baron Davis and was never heard from again.
I love Baron Davis. Steven Jackson.
Stack.
Yeah.
Captain Jack. He was
Dude.
dope.
He was.
Yeah.
Monte.
I love Monta. Oh my God.
Monte.
He was so good.
Yeah.
Just a bucket.
But I loved Andy. There was not, you know what? Oh, what was the other kid that we had? What's the kid that almost died trying to guard Steph? What's his name?
Oh,
The Aussie kid?
yeah. Oh God, I can see
What was his
face,
name?
but I can't think of his
I
name.
can see his face too. Deladova.
Deladova, yes.
Deladova. I changed my pick. I don't think I've ever seen two players play harder than Matthew Deladova and Andy Varejao.
Yeah.
Those dudes played their ass off minute to minute. And and Matthew, if anybody doesn't know, Matthew Dellavedova was a backup point guard for the Cavs on their like run with LeBron and Kyrie and stuff. He came off the bench. And that kid almost died trying to guard Steph. Literally went to the hospital to get IVs and shit. I couldn't walk. You'd never know it. He never let anybody know it. But if you follow the team, you know the back was collapsing in the back room, fainting, passing out shit. This kid's out there he's literally giving it everything he has. Everything. Yeah. And Andy was that way too. One of the best screen setters, one of the better playmates with teammates with Braun. Those two jived really, really well. And he was just really, really great at getting under team skin, getting getting little cheap fouls, getting little cheap charges. He was great at that.
I love those glue guys. Those guys.
Yeah, glue guys. Yeah.
I got to give an honorable mention to Agent Zero, Gilbert Arenas before he got hurt.
I never liked him personally because the Cavs and the Warriors and the Wiz always had heat.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to play him. Yeah. He's a go-getter, man.
I love him.
He could go get it.
Yeah.
He's just fucking crazy.
Yeah. Go get
Sean
it.
Marion was another one that's an honorable mention for me. The Matrix.
Peja.
Like
good call. I like Peja. Game faces Robert Horry has 35 rings in hours.
Big shot, Bob.
Yeah.
I love those Suns team. Nash and Amari and Joe and Sean Marion, Matrix.
Yep.
Man, I love their style. I like teams as I said with the Nuggets. I like teams that pass the ball, that move the ball. I like teams that run. It's just more fun to watch.
Yep. They were an Amari Stoudemire big toe away from going to the finals.
Dude, dunking hip check Nash into that thing. Looked like a grown man beating up a little kid. Nash was another one of those dudes that just gave it everything.
I loved Nash. That is like one of my favorite players of all time. Hands.
It's a shame he never got one. It really, really is. I think everybody, like all basketball fans, feel for that guy because he deserved it.
Yep.
Like even Kidd got his at the end. Like Nash never got a chance. And it's such a bummer because he just faced. It's not his fault. One of the greatest rosters ever put together of all time was constantly in his way. You know, you feel like. Like the folks in like the Central Division when Michael was running around. It's like, it's not your fault Michael was there. You know, not Barkley's fault Michael was running around. Like, damn. Nash is kind of that. Like if you know, there was no Kobe, there was no Duncan, he absolutely would have got one. He fucking came up against two buzzsaws back to back.
Yeah. Damn shame.
I got one for you because I do want to talk sports. How about your three least favorite players of the 2000s?
Tim Duncan.
Really?
Tim Duncan.
Really?
Tim Duncan. I don't like Tim Duncan.
I never. He's incredible, and he's really funny.
He's a great player, but I have to say his name because he fucked my team over. Dirk Whiskey.
Yeah, I don't like Dirk.
I see that. I get. I can see people hating Dirk. I love that team though. I love that Dallas.
It was great.
Dude,
Dallas team was great.
When Jason Terry chucked that shit in LeBron's face, those were one of the coldest moments I've ever seen. I was like, oh shit. You're the best player in the league and punked by Jason Terry? Yeah. He's 5'4". What the fuck you doing, man?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That was
cold blooded.
Yeah.
It was a fun team.
Paul Pierce. Also,
yeah, I hate Paul
Can't
Pierce.
stand Paul Pierce.
And it's like
Can't stand
half
Paul Pierce
envy,
at
but
all.
also half hate.
This is hate for me. It's just pure hate.
He's really good. He really is.
Master Splinter can kick rocks.
Oh no! Yeah.
I never liked Chauncey. I always hated Chauncey Billups.
Like
Again, I hate all the Detroit Pistons, but specifically him. I didn't hate Rip Hamilton, but I hated him.
Yeah, I never hated any of them, even though they beat us.
I don't think I did either.
I never hated any of them. I never liked Tim Duncan. I've never liked Dirk Nowitzki. They can both kick rocks. And I can't stand Paul Pierce.
Then most people I feel like hated Tony Parker.
I like Tony Parker.
I like Tony Parker.
I like Tony. Tony
like
doesn't.
TP.
He doesn't
like
get the respect
Manu,
he deserves. No, Manu is the shit. Yeah,
I love both TP and
Nobody
Manu.
was awesome.
I love those players. Tim Duncan can just kick rocks.
Oh, almost forgot. Karl Malone. Hated Karl Malone.
I mean,
to this day, I do not like Karl
anybody who doesn't hate Karl Malone, you're suspect. I'm sorry.
I don't hate Karl Malone.
I should hate Karl Malone.
You should hate Karl Malone. That's what dude you should
Everybody
hate.
hate Karl Malone. He's a terrible person.
He's a terrible
person. Yes.
He's a real terrible person.
Oh, I have no idea. I liked him. I liked watching him play. He tag teamed with DDP. I was like, that was cool.
He's tag teamed a lot of other things.
Apparently, I'm out of the loop.
Let's move on from that.
I got one. I never liked Dwight Howard.
Me either. He can also kick all the rocks. All right. I can't stand Dwight.
He's not great.
He's overrated. Unlike Paul Pierce, he's overrated.
Yeah.
And Dwight wasn't nearly as good as he should have been.
Not a fan of Dwight. He can take a long walk up a short bridge.
The way Shaq used to harass that man. This is who y'all compare me to. I used to.
Yeah, he's like, this is embarrassing. How dare you do this? I find this offensive.
He was really offended. It used to.
Kyle says he hates Matt Barnes.
I love Matt Barnes.
Remember the time he tried to punk Kobe?
Hate on Matt Barnes.
Remember the time he tried to punk Kobe?
Yeah.
And Kobe looked him dead in the face.
Kobe looked him dead in the face and then recruited him like, oh, you ain't scared of me? Come play with me, please.
Yeah.
I like Matt Barnes. Another glue guy. He's one of those guys who's out there doing all the little things, the hustle, gonna get under people's skin. I like him.
Artest.
Matt Barnes.
Artest is great. I love Artest.
Artest was good. You know who I didn't like? Doug Christie. Never liked Doug Christie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. I'm not a fan of Doug Christie.
I never liked Roy Hibbert.
Me either.
Yeah. I didn't like Roy Hibbert either.
I don't like most centers. If you're big,
yeah, you have a real thing against big men.
I just don't like. I don't like big guys.
Such short man energy.
That's
Yes,
absolutely.
I'm going right at your chest.
Exactly what it is.
I'm going right at your chest. All right. I don't care about you trees. Get out of here. But I
was
really
say
hate
that as he's
ones...
looking up at the sky, his ass on the ground. Still talking shit. I came right at your chest.
Absolutely.
And he's like, I put you right on your back.
And
looking like one of the turtles from Mario.
We need to bring back Mo, and we'll call the podcast Little Big. Like we'll bring.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't like, but I especially hate the big men who don't play where they're supposed to play. If you're 6'10" or larger, if you're not on the block and you're on the wing, I hate you.
Oh no, man! I love watching Dirk work.
Get your big ass under this basket.
He had that unguardable shit I always thought was illegal, where he would just fucking pull his knee up. He looked like he's about to knee somebody in the chin, man. And like, you just couldn't do anything about it. Like, what are you going to do? It's fucking 7'2" big ass, his big leg in the way as he's doing the fadeaway. And he always made it. He made every one of them. It was like the unguardable shot.
Creating all the space.
Whenever the Mavs needed it, he had two for you. 12-foot high knee fadeaway. Money.
Yep. You know who did it better? Bird. He didn't need the knee. He just shot from way up here.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't even jump that high. Like, he didn't need to.
He's like, I'm getting it right here. Right here is where I'm going to shoot, and you're not going to do anything about it. Money. Have you seen the trailer for season 2 of the Lakers show?
Winning Time?
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to do it too after all the shit they got.
Yeah.
There's a trailer?
Season 2, and there's a trailer. And it's
when did it come out?
Bird talking shit energy a couple days ago. Like,
yeah, I haven't seen it. I didn't come across my wire at all. I got to watch that.
Yeah.
I love that show. I thought that show
Me
was
too.
amazing. I hated the Jerry
Fantastic.
West everybody's whining about. This is the best TV I've seen in years.
Absolutely. It was so good. Absolutely loved it.
It was.
Thanks, Kyle, for that.
I didn't like John Wall.
Question. Yeah, I
Come on,
don't care about John Wall. He's cool. Whatever.
I hated Joakim Noah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
He
a really
talked
good
all
one.
kinds of shit about Cleveland, even though we bounced him year after year after year, but he'd still show up. He's got that
Oh,
famous,
no.
I'm not sure if you guys knew that famous interview where he was just going hard on Cleveland media. And they're like, why do you always have this? And he was like, I don't know why anybody wants to come here. Nobody wants a vacation in Cleveland. I don't know what is so great about it. He just kept going on and on. He really set him up to be like public enemy number one against the Cavs. Which is nice. Like, you can do that, but, you know, like win. Trying to win some. The Bulls were good. But, you know, like a lot of the other teams, they weren't good enough. LeBron sent a lot of good teams home.
Yeah. I like players to talk trash. I never had a problem with Joakim Noah. I'm good with that.
He wasn't very good, though.
He
That was
wasn't.
my other thing.
He wasn't. He wasn't that
You got to
good.
back up
You know.
the trash talking.
There it is, right?
Yeah.
Nobody just wants trash talk for trash talk's sake, except Dev.
Sometimes. He had enough good players around him.
He's all like, I'm an all-star. It's like, no, you're Andy Varejao.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
You're a
not
slightly
very good.
better version of Varejao.
Yeah, you're not very good. Shut up. You're lucky
no
Bros
Tyson
is on your
Chandler.
team or nobody would know your name.
This is very true.
Go sit down, okay? Kirk Heinrich needs shots.
Oh my God. Kirk Heinrich and Ben Gordon. Wow.
Dude, I like Ben Gordon. I liked him a lot. UConn.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
Ben
Underappreciated.
Gordon was dope. Yeah, absolutely. Keeping on the sports tangent, Rude Days says, what's the biggest sport moment for you that you witnessed live, whether at the event or live TV? For him, even though he's not a big baseball fan, he'll always remember where he was watching Barry Bonds break the home run record.
I saw that.
You think that's
I
a
did
great
not.
moment? I don't think it's really
It's
a
a
great
fun
moment.
moment. I don't think it's a great moment. It's a fun moment.
For me, there's no great moment.
At that point, like the magic was lost. Everybody knew that dude was juice and his head was huge. And at that point, it kind of felt like a mockery. It's like, it's just a parody of everything at this point. I don't know if that was like a great sports moment. No shame, like no shade on Barry. He still hit him. But like at that point, it didn't feel like the Sosa McGuire. They didn't feel like that run. It felt like it was being tampered with. I was like, this isn't real though, right?
I mean, he still had to hit. I mean, hitting a baseball is still really hard.
Yeah, but he didn't just break through. He broke it by like 20. He's fucking like, it's insane. Like, you know, it just, I don't know. It just felt juiced. Like that one felt tampered with.
It's baseball. I got no love or care for that sport in any way, shape, or form. So
let me ask this. Does wrestling count in this equation?
Sure.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going.
Oh, really?
I asked this because I have two. If wrestling didn't count, I'm going to say I watched the Malice in the Palace.
If you say CM Punk return, you're off the show.
No, fuck no.
I was at Malice in the Palace was a great event. That was a big sport moment. For
yes, it was.
So
it was fantastic.
I watched the Malice.
It was amazing.
I watched that live.
So
I was watching that game. It was just on. I was just watching that game that night. I remember that one. I definitely wouldn't call it a great sports moment, but Delvin doesn't surprise me. He loves it when people slap people for real on real life television.
It doesn't say big. It doesn't say greatest sports moment. It just says biggest sports moment. So I guess that is a big sports.
That's true. It is memorable. We got a documentary.
I was going to say if I go wrestling, I was at Rock versus Cena 1.
Okay.
So I got to see that. That was pretty cool. Pretty big moment. Two of the biggest stars in Hollywood, and I got to watch them at WrestleMania. It's pretty cool.
Solid.
You
have another one? I thought you had multiple.
Those were
the
Malice in the Palace.
Oh, that was one. I thought it was a joke. Never mind. He meant that for real. Oh shit.
He did mean that for real.
I remember the summer of baseball being like a real fun time. I remember that. I remember baseball was just, I don't know. I just watched more baseball back then. I was more into baseball than now. I remember when Boston came back from the Yankees. That felt like a
That was
huge
a good one.
moment after decades and decades and decades. I remember when Dallas won the Super Bowl. It felt like a big deal.
Fuck Dallas. Fucking
You know what? I got another one. When Jordan came back and won the championship.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
That was a
big one.
Three-peat?
Yeah. I remember that one. I remember
Kobe and Shaq equated and got their own. Like, that was a big moment.
That was a big one. I remember Tyson versus Holyfield, the first one.
Oh, yeah, Tyson Douglas.
That's a good
I think Tyson Buster Douglas.
I remember that one. I watched that one too. I remember that one very well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I watched both. I used to watch every Tyson
Buster Douglas, huge in Cleveland. So, yeah.
Huge.
I watched every Tyson fight almost till I guess the end. When it was like, he's just fighting this bum and he's going to lose this.
I felt like the end was before the Holyfield fight. Like, that was a big one, got a lot of play, but like his time felt like it had passed. He wasn't as good as he used to be.
I would say the end was Lennox Lewis, maybe?
Oh, that was definitely like, no, the end was over by then.
That
was the exclamation mark. That was like the
end was
rubber
when
stamp.
he went to prison. That was the end of Tyson.
Yeah, that's right.
The end was
there
when
was
he
like
went to prison.
There's the before prison Tyson and the after prison Tyson. Yeah, and the after prison Tyson was not as good. And it wasn't because he lost to Holyfield. You could tell in the fight, this isn't the same guy.
And when he won, he wasn't fighting nobody.
I think Go ahead.
My biggest is probably just watching LeBron come back and win when they were down 3-1. That's probably the biggest sports moment for me that I've actually watched.
Blocked by James. I mean, that's the most important to me. And almost nearly as important is like I really love the parade and like how the Cleveland specifically celebrated after all of the shit that city's been through. I mean, there's a whole documentary about it, and it's been 70 years of misery there. And it's like, of all the towns that really deserved one, they did. And I was really happy to see that. And I think Cleveland showed up in a major way. When the Buckeyes won their first title against that Miami team in overtime, like under that controversial call, it felt like a huge moment because the Buckeyes hadn't really won anything in many decades until then. And all of the 90s, they basically were owned by the Wolverines. And they just had a brand new coach, and it was just like a bunch of kids. Like, that wasn't a very like well thought of team at the time. So that felt very organic and like kind of ground roots done. Yeah, it was a real important one. I was really proud of that one. I was there when the Cavs drafted Kyrie. I met Dan Gilbert. I met Spike Lee. I met a bunch of different folks. That kind of started like that Cavs rerun for me. So that was pretty near and dear, especially after LeBron left. Like, LeBron leaving is a very important, memorable, big moment. Like LeBron doing I'm taking my talents to South Beach. History doesn't remember all of the criteria that went into that, but the Cavs before that, people give them a lot of shit for not building a championship team around him. The Cavs did everything that they possibly could have done. They traded every pick for every expiring contract. They added Ben Wallace and Wally Zerbiak and Antoine Jan. They added everybody that they really could.
Everybody.
The only mistake that they made was signing can't remember his name now. Who's that guy that they signed? Larry Hughes. And at the time, that was a really good deal. Like, when they signed him, everybody thought that was the right deal. And he just got hurt and never really got going, and it just was a bad deal. But the Cavs, that was such a parade. LeBron held meetings in Cleveland where all these teams had to come and present to him and his team, like PowerPoint presentations on what their city meant. And like Pat Riley was there, and then they read all these briefings that would come out. It was like grounds. If you're a Cleveland fan, you were getting like reporting around the clock on what this means and all of that. And a lot of people in Cleveland thought that like surely LeBron wouldn't do this. He has been there. He spoke about the drive and the fumble and what it means to Cleveland. And surely he wouldn't go on TV and make a TV show called The Decision and screw us all over. And he absolutely did. It was like the biggest heel turn of all time.
I just think it's so funny that people felt like he owed them anything. Like,
it's not that they felt owed, it's that they felt, that's not right. That's not the right wording.
That's what it felt like.
I don't think people felt owed. I think people, when you're from that area, especially as a sports fan, you're aware of these things that were happening. And I think it was more like, oh, if he was leaving, he would do it with more grace after everything like this community's done to support him and to prop him up and everything. And for him to do it the way he did really soured a lot of people, which
they're burning jerseys.
there was a guy that burned a jersey. That the whole city wasn't burning jerseys. No, it was. Go look up, find another video of somebody else burning a jersey. It's just the one. It really
Kevin Love jersey. Somebody's burning Kevin Love jerseys too. Yeah.
But I say all that to say this: when he came back, when he announced he was coming back, I cried. I had tears in my office. I did. My boss has got it. Like they took pictures of me. I was crying.
You care for sports in a way that I will never understand.
I was so happy. Because we had Kyrie, we had the pick, like we've got LeBron, like we had something, and you just felt it. Like you just felt like this is it. Like this is it. Like this is what it all had to mean. And I'm glossing over. There's a lot of backstory. There's a lot of stuff there. Like there's a lot of amends that had to be made. Dan Gilbert and LeBron, with the community, with city leaders. Like there's so much more there politically than people will ever care to know about. It was a huge deal, a massive deal. And it really did feel like maybe LeBron's management, like the people that he works with that make these business decisions and stuff for him, maybe they didn't realize, like maybe they didn't really account for how the optics of that would come off in Cleveland. And I definitely think that, I mean, he came back because he had a chance to win, but he also came back to kind of like set that wrong right. You know, like I don't think anybody had a problem with him going to Miami. It was how he did it. Almost felt like he's making a mockery of the city.
I don't know about that. People had a problem with him going to Miami. A lot of people did.
I'm telling you from the Cleveland side, people might have been upset that he went to Miami, but it was more because of how he went to Miami than the fact that he
telling you from the Miami side, the Heat became the most hated team in the NBA at that time.
That's a different thing. That's not a Cleveland thing. That's the NBA generally hating super teams. That's a whole separate story. That's a whole separate thing.
People hated the story that used to come out about Miami, saying that Miami fans were disloyal and lazy, and they would say the wildest things about Heat fans back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
those are Los Angeles Lakers fans.
They would say,
and I'm not saying I don't believe those things about Miami fans, but Miami does have the track record of people just leaving the fourth quarters of like finals games. So like it's kind of earned. It's a little bit earned.
Yeah, in some cases, yeah. But that happens a lot.
It's not like the greatest fan base of all time. It's not a bad fan base. There's definitely big super Heat fans. I think it's more of a Miami thing than a Heat fan base thing.
It became more of a prevalent thing when LeBron got here. People,
of course, because I think Miami is a star chasing town, and when you have star players, the people that show up to the game aren't necessarily Heat fans, as more they are event fans, they're celebrity fans.
That is also true.
That's why they leave in the fourth quarter, because they don't care who wins and loses. But that isn't indicative of Heat fans.
That's indicative of large cities not known as New York.
Well, I think when you get
there and watch all that shit happen.
When you get stars like the Lakers and the Heat, when you get stars on those teams, the fans get priced out of going. They can't afford to go. They can't buy all the tickets and cheer to the end.
Ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, you get models showing up, and Instagram and celebrities, and they're not nearly as rowdy. But I don't hold that against the team or the city.
Oh, they definitely at the time
I'm with you that they were the villains, but from the Cleveland media and fan perspective, I'm telling you, I've got files of like radio the next day. It's not just that he left. I think there were a lot of people in Cleveland were like, if it were me, I'd probably go too. What am I do? Sign up to get more Antoine Jameson and Anderson Varejao, or go team up with Bosch and Wade? Like, there are a lot of people that got it, but the process of doing it felt like he was, kind of sticking it to Cleveland. Really,
I would love a Big Three documentary, like a really detailed.
I would too. I would just love a good document of that team. I love that team. I really did, and I don't like the Heat, but I love that Heat team. That second year, when they turned it up, one of the best defensive teams I've ever seen.
Yeah, because that whole, it was 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Man, Game Face says Boston just traded Marcus Smart for Tyus Jones. Wow, that didn't sound right. But I guess they don't want to pay Marcus, or maybe they're making room to pay. They signed Kristaps Porzingis. They traded for him.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's pretty scary in Boston.
That is.
Kristaps had a pretty good season with the Wiz. Kind of under the radar, but when he's healthy, he's good. And he's kind of exactly what they need. They can't be trotting Al Horford out there for 40 minutes. He's a big dude. He can bang, can rebound, can shoot threes. With Tatum and Brown and co, that's pretty fucking awesome. I hate Boston.
Ass under the basket.
He will. He does that.
Get out of my 3-point area.
I hate Boston so much. I hate that they're so good. God, do I hate the Celtics?
Yeah.
I hate the Celtics so much.
Yeah, the Celtics are awful. Awful.
It's a fun offseason. Should be a fun draft.
I just want it to all be over with so I can just see all the chips live.
Such a Buzz Killington about this.
It's only because
every team in the league's like trying to make deals, trying to make trades and reshaping and face of a new league.
To see what it looks like at the end.
I hate it.
I just want to see what it looks like at the end so I can see, where everybody is. But like the whole
enjoy
process
the ride.
of it.
Need no rush for it.
Good.
Good time to kill. Basketball.
I'm good.
Be months away. Sit back. Pull up a chair.
I'm not following any of it. I don't even watch the draft. I don't care. I don't know any of the players that are in
yeah, I'm not watching the draft either. Cavs don't have a pick. I'm not gonna watch. I'll check it out afterwards.
I just like basketball. I just want to watch some basketball. I don't
Summer
really
League,
care
man.
About who's where.
I can't wait to see Wemby play Summer League. Yeah, Wemby's gonna dominate Summer League. I hope he goes for like 80. He's be out there with Summer League players. Oh my god.
I want to see Chet Holmgren. I want to see if he actually lives up to that. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
About NBA. I'm more interested in Chet. I want to see if he actually does well. But yeah. Moving on, Smoking Joe says top 3 NFL players from the 90s.
Michael Vick, Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders.
The 90s?
Was Vick in the 90s?
No.
Vick was in the 90s.
Vick was drafted in like 2003, right? Was he?
Was like
I think I've got that wrong. Was it 99?
I think he would have been like the very end of the 90s.
Yeah, I think I got that wrong. He was on the cover of Madden in 2003, I think is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but I think he was also, I remember playing with him, I want to say college. No, I'm sorry. I think it was 2000 when he got drafted. I don't think he was there in the 90s.
I think it's about right.
So,
because the Falcons went to the Super Bowl in 98, and that was with Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got hurt, and then they drafted Vic.
That's correct. Yeah. So I will change my Vic to Barry Sanders, Deion, and Michael Irvin. Screw it.
He was drafted in 2001.
Yeah, I was about to say it definitely wasn't the 90s.
So who'd you change your answers to?
The Sanders,
Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin,
and the crack maker.
Yeah, there's be a ton of Deion Sanders. I'm not going to pick Deion because I know you guys are.
Yeah, Deion and Barry are 2 of mine, and then Jerry Rice. Those are my favorite 3 players.
Yeah, it's hard to beat those. Those are good picks.
Actually, you know what? I swap out Jerry Rice for Steve Young because Steve Young would try to run over a linebacker, and I don't
think people are going to like my picks. First pick, and this is a good pick. I don't think it's like my other picks. First pick, Reggie White. That's a fucking man. Yeah,
it's a boring pick.
It's really good.
Sure.
Oh my god. If you don't play receiver, apparently you don't count. Receivers and quarterbacks to death. My second pick is bad because of recent things, and just ever since he's retired, it's been terrible. But as a player, just saying as a player, dude, Brett Favre was fucking awesome.
I knew he was going to say Brett Favre. I knew he was going to say Brett Favre.
I loved Brett Favre coming up. He was great. Dude had a cannon, a howitzer. Could throw it everywhere. You remember that night his dad died? Did you watch the fucking Monday Night Football game? It was like cinema. Yeah. His dad died. He went and played Monday Night Football, threw for like 8 touchdowns. You know, just insane. Before he started sending sex to reporters and stealing money from foster cares and shit, just as a football player, he was fucking awesome. Yeah. We talked about the 90s, right?
I like that.
I'm not thinking of the 2000s Brett Favre. The fucking 90s Brett Favre.
What Reggie White did to you?
Nothing. It's just boring. It's not
Dude, Reggie White was amazing. What are you talking about?
He's a great player.
He's one of the best to ever do it.
I'm not saying he wasn't. I just don't care about D lineman. It wasn't that interesting.
Couldn't care.
I'm not picking.
Jesus,
it's boring. It's boring. It's Reggie White.
Ray Lewis.
Reggie White. What do you see?
Better?
Reggie White.
The murderers.
Ray Lewis is better. Yeah.
See, yes. And he's just like, if you murder somebody, I'm interested. If you're just really excellent at your job, not interested.
Give me the killers.
Yeah, murders are good.
Yes. I need some personality.
OJ approved.
The Juice was a beast. I'm with it.
I bet he was. Yeah, he was.
Okay, I did right before I give you my other option, because you guys are gonna hate my other option. I knew Brett Favre wasn't gonna be good, so I also wrote down or Emmitt Smith or Junior Seau. Pick one.
I'll take Seau because fuck the Cowboys.
Yeah, but Emmitt was pretty awesome though.
Emmitt was, but fuck the Cowboys. So
Junior Seau was awesome too, though. And he was
yeah, I'm taking Seau because
all right,
the Cowboys,
because I knew you guys were gonna pick Dion. Got to do it. Got to pick Rob Woodson.
Rob Woodson was great.
Dude was awesome.
Rob Woodson was great.
I'll argue this. I'm not going to say he's better. Very different players. Played cornered very differently, right? Mm-hmm. Rod Woodson ahead of his day. Rod Woodson would be a fucking killer in today's league. In today's league, where corners and safeties have to play linebacker and play in zone and pick up, Rod Woodson would have been a monster in a way that Dion, while still would be effective, wouldn't be the same today.
Not at all. Not at all.
Right? Because Dion was fast, cover, block, tip, intercept, not tackle.
Right.
Not fucking coming downhill, stopping 225-yard backs like Rod Woodson could. Exactly. The people think Troy Polamalu was awesome. Rod Woodson was every bit that and then some.
Mm-hmm.
So I just felt like it needed to be said. I think like that's a classic debate, right? Dion or Rod.
Absolutely.
Rod Woodson was a monster.
Yeah. I also really like Steve Atwater.
Atwater was very good.
Was great.
Yeah.
Alrighty. It is what we got. 2 hours and 50 minutes we've been doing this for. I'm gonna skip a couple of questions because I'm hungry and I'd like to go soon. This is a good one. Barrett 33 says, yeah. Inspired by our Starfield convo a few days back. Kind of a difficult question to formulate, but take below however you wish for a show discussion. What is a game you found to be undeniably a quality game, but hard to get into because it's too much? What is the ideal balance between immersion, simulation, and maintaining a fun moment-to-moment game experience? Like, what makes games like Tears of the Kingdom able to find a perfect balance?
I know Dev's answer.
Do you?
I think I do.
I don't think you do.
Well, I think you can definitely find another one, but I feel like I have an answer for Dev. That would be very fitting. That would be any of the new Assassin's Creed games.
That was gonna be my answer.
I wasn't even thinking about those at all. That did not cross my mind. Not at all. Those aren't hard for me to get into because they're too much. They're hard for me to get into because I don't care about the characters.
You haven't even tried the characters. You don't know.
No, I started Valhalla and it just wasn't interesting to me. Like Vikings.
So what about Odyssey? What about Origins?
I tried Odyssey and I wasn't feeling the environment. Like I just didn't do it. And then Origins, I also tried playing that and I just didn't like the way it felt. So that had nothing to do with it being too much. I just couldn't get into the games mainly because of the characters and the setting. Games that feel like too much would be.
But you're into Mirage and it is a character from that setting.
But it's all, it is. But
this is the same character.
It's not, no, because the Origins was like Egypt. Like Mirage is different because it's all the way. It's back with the original AC, and that is more interesting to me than what Egypt was.
No,
Origins just didn't interest me. Like
hang himself with this one.
I tried to play Origins and I just couldn't get into it. It just
Basim is a character from Valhalla. Like it is the character.
It doesn't mean anything to me. Basim doesn't. I'm not looking at
right, but you're
Basim
like, I played
character.
it and I don't like the characters, and it's like, but you're totally gonna play this one that is the character. Is it just the setting? It's just the setting.
It's the Vikings, just the setting, and also the character. Like I couldn't get into what the hell was the character.
Origins is Egypt, but I mean it's very similar. That's very similar to the old Assassin's Creed games.
It didn't feel like it at all to me. They weren't the setting just didn't feel the same at all.
Okay. All right. I won't push too much. I think I made my point.
It had nothing to do with too much. It wasn't about the amount of stuff to do. It just was the setting and the characters just didn't draw me in.
Okay. You say so.
I don't know how else I can put that. It had nothing to do with how much there was to do.
All right.
So yeah, that those games didn't even cross my mind.
Got you.
Yeah, games that feel like too much to me are like when I have to do work. Like if I have to cook and do all kind of other shit like that, that's what feels like too much for me. Like I don't want to do all that. I don't want to have to manage a bunch of inventory and stuff like that. Like I don't have the desire to do that kind of stuff anymore, which is one of the reasons why I don't play a lot of RPGs anymore either.
Yeah.
See, I kind of wonder what is meant by too much, because to me, when I see a game that's 500 hours, like, oh, you can play this in 500 hours, that feels like a bit much to me. So that's kind of like, oh, I can understand why people like this game, but I can't do it because that's just too much of an undertaking to take in.
Right.
Like even
Starfield's 500,000 hours and you're stoked.
But see, there's the difference.
Right. I think that's the point of the question. Starfield, what's the difference?
I think that with a game, if Starfield is like other games, you can beat it like in 30 hours, or you can beat it in 5,000 hours. Like I like when a game gives you a path to finishing the game within, like, all right, you can do all this stuff, or you can just mainline and do this. Some games feel like you can mainline it, but on your way to mainline it, there's 500 other things you can do or have to do to get the full experience. When you give me a game that I can just play it and mainline it and I don't really miss out on much, I'm cool with that. The Witcher is kind of like what you're saying before. Like you can beat The Witcher in 30 hours, but you probably don't want to beat The Witcher in 30 hours.
See, I would feel the same thing about Starfield. I was just about to ask you, why in all, like two things. One, why are you sure that you can mainline Starfield? Like what makes
because it's more like Fallout. Because Fallout's like that. Fallout,
what about what you saw makes you think that?
Everything they've shown, it feels more like Fallout. And Fallout's one of those games you can play and beat in 30 hours easily.
Okay.
But if you want to continue on with
that's why I'm asking, because I don't know.
Yeah, Fallout's a lot like that. You can beat Fallout.
Get Fallout vibes.
Neither did I. He keeps saying this.
I got
saying this, and I have not. Yeah, not one point was I like, that's Fallout.
No, because the way is everything set up with the mechanics, but I also, and things like that. And
in the trailer, in the long gameplay demo that they gave us of Starfield, at no point did I look at that game and be like, oh, I'll just mainline it. Like that doesn't look like any way, shape, or form the game to do that on.
You don't have you can with Bethesda game. You can mainline them and you can play what you want to and get what you want to get out of it, and then still beat the game.
Until you accidentally,
like you can do that with
send you all the way on the other side of the map.
Yeah,
that can also happen too. But like I said, it's up to you whether you choose to do it or not. You can beat Bethesda games in 20, 30 hours if you choose to. Or
Todd talked about how he boarded an enemy ship and it just took off. So he didn't choose to do that. It just did.
No, I think didn't he say he took it over? You could board the enemy ship and take it over.
He said he was fighting enemies and he boarded their ship, and while he was fighting the enemies, the ship just left. It just left the planet and took off into space with him on it. He did not choose to take it over and go anywhere. It just did that.
But he also said you didn't have to do any of that stuff. You don't want to.
Well, you don't have to play the game at all. But like, I get this sense. The point that I'm making is I don't think I might just be completely wrong. I may be. I don't think there's 30 Golden Path missions for you to see and in Starfield. I don't think that's there.
Yeah, I'm really confused about the Fallout vibes because I just don't see that in this game at all.
I think Starfield has like some sort of loose narrative, but I think it's going to send you in a direction to get you lost in a myriad of side quests that you optional things to do. I don't think it's going to be like, here's the story of Starfield and then explore the other 1,000 planets. I think the story of Starfield is what happens while you're exploring 1,000 planets.
That's what it feels like.
Well,
it's so
Fallout
much more
has
No Man's Sky
a little bit
Fallout.
of that.
Yeah.
Too.
And actually that might be like the only time that I point to No Man's Sky.
Well, even No Man's Sky has a story.
Yeah, but the whole point of the game is to get
and that you can finish in like 30 hours.
No.
You might be right. You've played more of these than me. I'm not saying you're wrong.
I played No Man's Sky. You can finish No Man's Sky.
I don't know anything about
You can
Fallout.
get to this.
But I don't get the
center
sense
of the universe of No Man's Sky.
Starfield is that game.
10 hours.
Yeah, Starfield doesn't feel like a Fallout 4 find a mainline story and get through it in 30 hours. It feels like there really isn't much of an end to Starfield.
They're talking about like how you can create a space trade or just take over things or join other parties or enslave planets.
But that's the same thing with Fallout. You can play. Seems like you can play Fallout as long as you want to. Technically speaking, there's plenty of story missions and things like that.
As long as you want to.
Yeah. It would side question things that you can play for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and not get through it. Or you can just go through it.
I cannot wait for Starfield to become his next Elden Ring. This is
we're all on edge watching as you lean into this. Because you've set in, you've dug in, you've drawn your foot down, you're like, this is it. And here we go. We're all gonna be watching you, Delvin. Godspeed.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be finished by Tears of the Kingdom by then.
Definitely
right. Not happening.
No, you probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this question is going to be different for everybody. Like there's no answer to this question.
And that's why it's all subjective. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all what you like and what you don't like. It's not that any game is necessarily too much. If it's just something you don't want to do, it ends up feeling like a chore.
Yeah, I mean, my answer from Starfield is different. I mean, it's different game to game. I was intimidated and just overwhelmed by everything Starfield seemed to be throwing at me. My issue with Starfield isn't necessarily that it's too big. It's not the amount of content that it has. It is literally the content. The majority of what was shown in the Starfield Direct wasn't something that I was particularly interested in. That's my issue with Starfield. It's not that I don't want to play a game like that. I do. I love getting lost in a game. It's what am I doing while I'm getting lost? They're like, you can laser rocks to earn resources, and you can trade with space pirates, and you can customize your ship. I don't want to do any of those things.
Me either. That feels like work.
And I don't mean to, and look, I'm not hating on you if you do. If you do, that's awesome. I don't want to do those things. No different. People like, I don't want to light villages on fire and blow up giant radio towers in Far Cry. I do. I mean, it's fun. I'm down for that. For Starfield, I don't think I'm down for. And it's not just because of space. There are plenty of games that take place in and around space that I do enjoy. It's not just space. But the idea of just exploring space, I don't particularly care for. And I mean, I think that's a hard sell, right? If you're not into like, I want to find a black hole or search the links of the universe. If you're not into that, Starfield's probably a tough sell.
Yep.
As Delvin said, you like Mass Effect, right? No, I don't. I never really have.
It's been stated several times.
Yeah, so Starfield I just don't think is for me, and I'm okay with that. That's an okay thing.
Yeah.
But when a game is too Starfield much,
had a tighter narrative, I'd be more interested, but I don't feel like that.
What becomes too much for me are, I think it's a couple things. But probably like repetitive loop games. I just don't have the patience.
Just say Destiny. Just say Destiny.
I mean, I won't say it, but sure. I mean, that counts. Games like that. I feel very similarly about like Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
like the kind of like loop game isn't necessarily my jam. Doesn't mean I don't find games like that I enjoy. There are some that hook me, but not always. But like those games that people play, you know, like it's just fun to play. I'm just going to keep playing it. I'm like, what are you accomplishing? They're like, there's a story, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm just doing it because it's fun, or I'm doing play with my friends, or we're just going to redo it again. And there's a reason I don't play a lot of service games. And that's probably it. I feel like I'm wasting my time. I don't feel like I'm
with you.
I don't feel like I'm
100%.
gaining something from it. I don't feel like it's a good use of my time. So that's usually like the first one for me. I'm trying to see if I can think of a good way of explaining the others.
Does that feel like too much though? Does that feel like too much, or just not interested?
It does feel like too much because a lot of times those games take a really long time though, even to accomplish something, take hundreds of hours. So it's like if I don't feel like I'm spending a good amount, like if I don't feel like this is a good spend of my time in 2 hours, and here you are being like, you're going to play it for 8 years. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to play it for the weekend. You know? So those are too, like in that regard, it's too much. Like who's signing on to do this forever, indefinitely? I can't do this. Apex. And people just play Apex. That's all they do. They just play Apex. I'm like, why?
I don't get those
Fortnite
games either because those don't have a real story to them. There's no progression.
Fortnite does have a story, and even I'm like, it's too. I can't keep doing this. But there's no
progression. Like, what do you progress? I need some kind of progression. That's why I can play Destiny, because I'm actually progressing through stuff. Like, there's a storyline that I'm getting the next mission, the next level. Where with like Apex and Warzone, like, what am I? My gun gets a new camo skin. Like, that doesn't do it.
I don't find that valuable. And as people know, I love playing a lot of different things, like variety is the spice of life. I can't just be set on any one thing for too long. I'm bored of doing anything for too long. Even Zelda. Like I haven't played Zelda this week, and I'm kind of thinking of taking the week off. Not because I don't want to play Zelda, I do, just because I've played a lot of Zelda, and I think maybe a week off would be nice. I'll get back to it maybe next week. The other thing for me is like, my biggest thing with RPGs is that there's too much. It's too much of the same thing. Xenoblade is like, dude, Xenoblade is like the perfect. Like this game takes 190 hours. No, I'm not doing that for 190 hours. And I used to do more of it. I've never been into Final Fantasy, but like I did like Dragon Quest and I did like Pokemon, and over the years, I just have less time for those sorts of things because it is a lot of doing the same thing over and over again. You know, it is, and it can be fun, but you just keep doing it over. I'm like, why? Like it all just starts to feel, I don't know, purposeless. I'm just, why am I doing this? Even if Valhalla
have like a good story, like, are you not playing just to progress the story? Like, do you want to see where it goes?
It might be that some of those examples I just gave you didn't give me a story worthy enough of me continuing.
There you go. Okay.
But also, I don't think the gameplay loop is much fun as I used to. And I think that's probably because of age. But I think one thing, a lot of people say this, like I've grown out of RPGs or something like this. I would say that I think I have a lot more options to play other games now that I didn't when I used to play those games. So at like the time they were like a really good option. Now they're like less of a good option because I have so many other cool games to play. You know, like 20 years ago, I was totally fine to play 200 hours of Pokemon and just keep catching Pokemon and keep doing the same thing, because at that time, that was a really fucking cool video game at the time. And now I've played 30 of those video games, like the same game over and over and over again, right? And now it's like, I kind of want to like blow some shit up in Doom. It's more fun, like moment to moment. It's more fun. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Valhalla's really repetitive. A lot of it's the same thing, but it's really fun to do. You know, and there are different stories, different characters. To your point, there's a narrative that I'm advancing that I'm finding more fun. So I think it's for a lot of different factors, but usually tedium or like, to sum it up, I'm just talking because generally, guys, I just wanted to hang out tonight. So I'm sorry that I'm keeping so long, Dev.
Nah, this is good.
It's generally what I find tedium, like overt repetitiveness, which is really with the RPG stuff, or endlessness. I don't like endlessness in video games. I want to play to an end so I can play something else. I don't want something that ever expands. I don't want the never-ending gobstopper of video games. I think it's my issue with roguelikes. It's my issue with a lot of these things. Like, you can play our game forever. I'm like, who wants to do this? Like, that's an immediate turnoff for me. I'm like, whose goal is to just pick up this game and play it forever? You know, I want to play other things. Oh, those are mine.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm with you there. On a lot of stuff, I don't want to play a game forever. I like story. So if there's a story in a world that brings me in, I'll play that part, and then I'll leave. And if there's a new story, I'll come back to it, which is my Destiny experience. But I also want to play a game that has an end, that there's progression, that I'm working towards something. And if I don't have that, I'm not going to play that game. Unlike you, I don't need a lot of things to play. I don't have the time or the energy to like constantly jump around. Like, that's really hard for me. I want to play a game, finish it, and then go to the next one. Like, it's hard for me to jump back and forth through games, especially if I play something for a while and then I go play something else and I try to come back. I'm gone, which is why, like, for example, Horizon's DLC. I was really excited for Burning Shores. Got back to him, was like, I was just so out of the loop from playing that game that playing a DLC a year later, I'm never going to go back to it. I'm not going to finish it. Same thing happened with Frozen Wilds. Like, it's too far gone out of my bloodstream for me to go back.
That's how I feel about the Callisto. I really like the game. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
Too long. Too late. Sorry, you missed your boat.
It's gone.
I'm not going back to play that game anymore.
Yeah. Anything else to add, Delvin? Nothing? You're falling asleep there. You good?
He does look like he's falling asleep, doesn't he? We keeping you up late, man? That coffee wearing off?
Yeah. Yes.
Better burn another pot.
Me and Donnie could be here all night. You never know.
Good. Yeah, the work part of the question is, like, the too much is never about hours. It's about time. Right? It's how I'm spending that time. I'll play a game for hundreds of hours. Look at Valhalla, Far Cry, look at Tears of the Kingdom. If I'm really digging it, I'll play for hundreds of hours. The question is, how much am I digging it?
Yeah,
I think that's really the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing with Starfield. I don't think I'm digging it enough to play it as long as it looks like it needs to be played. So therefore, I'm not as interested. That's usually my issue.
Yep. Yeah, because then it just feels like work.
Right.
I don't want to work. I'm here.
When I look at a game that I do like playing that much, like a Valhalla or a Far Cry, I'm like, that shit looks fun. Everything they're doing looks fun. It looks like a lot of fun. That's fun. This is fun. And I think there are people who look at Starfield the same way. People that are exploration, space, they're like, that looks like fun. Just doesn't to me. Not into sandwiches. Haley, though. Haley's super into his fucking sandwiches.
Really?
So is Delvin, apparently.
We'll see.
Nah.
Cap.
You just said you were super excited about Star. We're talking about Starfield, not actually.
Not about goddamn sandwiches. So that's another thing you can do. Sandwiches.
Look at all these sandwiches I
on that
stacked
list.
I'm really curious to see what your playthrough of Starfield is going to look like. I can't wait to see you put it down after 10 hours. Like, Elden Ring.
We have to look at the release calendar. What comes out like the next week?
See, that's the question.
Did you have like a good run with Starfield? You got a couple weeks before stuff starts dropping? Because October looks fucking stacked.
Yeah, October is going to be when you have to put it down. Spider-Man. That's the one.
You mean Mario? That's not the one. Mario's the one.
No, Mario's not the one.
I get the Mario when I
Spider-Man
get
is
the
the
Mario.
one.
No, it's Mario.
Yeah, Mario.
I get the Mario.
Yeah,
Assassin's
Mario
Creed
be around.
Mirage and Mario are the ones.
No.
Then Alan
that's
Wake.
not
Then
true.
maybe Spider-Man.
You're wrong. It's Spider-Man. Like Mario, we know what we're getting there. We know what we're getting from Mario.
We know
Yeah,
what we're getting
You
with
gotta go
Spider-Man. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The story is way more interesting.
We
We're getting the
know
whole
way
Venom
more
suit.
about Spider-Man than we do about
Venom
Wonder.
suit.
Nah.
Trumps
Yes.
the elephant.
Two
Venom
Spider-Mans
the
this time.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
You didn't love
Two
one.
of them.
They don't have the
Two of them.
You got two of
to
them
bring back
together.
three, just like the movie. Those have them all
I mean,
together.
Mario.
Technically, it is three because when you think about the Venom suit, it's like a whole different Spider-Man.
See? Yeah, you can play as Daisy in Mario. There's Elephant Mario and
That's
Peach
like
and
playing as
shit.
Princess Peach. That doesn't
Dudes have an
change anything.
acid trip. You have no
We've
idea
done
what's
this
going to
already.
happen.
We've done this.
That's Redhead
The
Peach.
story. There's no real story. We're not going anywhere with this. All right, we know what we're getting.
Other Peach.
All right? Other
You'll
Peach.
find out.
Exactly.
You'll find out. You'll see. Everybody
I
will play
won't.
Mario.
I won't. I won't be seeing it all. I'm not playing.
I'll be
this
seeing it at
game.
a later date.
I'm gonna get it
I'll be
for my
playing it at a
son for
later
his
date.
birthday in November.
That's smart.
I can wait on Mario games.
Yeah, Mario, Mirage. I'm excited about UV Plus. That's probably where I'll be playing that. But once Spider-Man hits, that's where I'll be playing.
I know you probably beat it before then.
No, I cannot beat it before then.
It's a short game.
Not gonna happen.
It's like 8-10 hours.
My time that I have to play games, I'm not gonna beat it before Spider-Man comes out. It's just not gonna happen. Like
That's
I'm
my
lucky
goal,
if
to
I
get Mirage and hopefully get it done before Mario.
Yeah, I'm lucky if I get 3 days a week where I can play for about an hour and a half to 2 hours at this point. So I know I'm not gonna finish Mirage before Spider-Man comes out. I probably won't even buy Mirage until I know I have time for it because I'd rather play Spider-Man.
What a great year. We have so many cool things to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Year of dreams. Lots of games. So much to do.
Lots of fun.
Indeed. All right. If I didn't get to your questions, we'll get to it next week. Because I'm hungry and I want dinner. So I haven't had dinner yet.
Yeah, and it's 1 a.m.
It's 9.
I know that doesn't matter for you, damn.
It's 9:57.
Well, I have to go to work in a couple hours.
Do you? I mean,
yes.
You don't have to.
Yes, I do. I actually do.
Well, I enjoyed hanging with you guys.
I enjoyed hanging with you guys as well. It was a good time. Good times. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this extra long episode of the Play Some Video Games podcast. And until next time, play some video games.
7. Peace.